Anyway, so I'm sitting at home Saturday evening. I was going to call my mom Sunday morning to wish her a happy Mother's Day. And I'm sitting at home, and my mother calls me. Thank you for the flowers. They're beautiful. And my daughter took me to lunch and having a wonderful Mother's Day. And wonderful. You know, so we went through our conversation, and then she goes, your father wants to speak to you. Now, that's always a big deal because my father never really speaks to me that much.
It's almost like there's an announcement and then your father appears.
The weird thing is you hear my dad in the background. I guess what goes on is both of them can't hear anymore that much. And my mom won't even consider getting a hearing aid. My dad has a hearing aid, but it doesn't seem to change anything. And
that's nice.
He decides he wants to speak to me. So I'll be talking to my mother. This is what you hear. It sounds something like this. Yeah, Ma, so what? Wonderful Mother's Day. Your sister took me to lunch. I was there with Pam and Sharon. And in the background, you just start to hear like shit going on. And then you hear, look, I want to talk to him. I don't even know if he knows my name. I don't even think he says, hey, I want to talk to him.
Harold.
And she can't hear him in the background. Let me have the phone when you're done. Let me talk to her. And you, what, Ben? I talk to her about your father. He wants to talk. My mother starts getting nervous. Your father wants to talk to you.
It's like a big event.
Yeah, I'll hold on.
Hold the presses.
Yeah, stop the presses.
And that's got to mean he's got a definite opinion about something.
Yeah, like there's something
not
burning.
To say, like, I love you. Or something.
No, it was something like burning on his mind. So I knew it was big. He goes, I was watching television. Did you see it? I go, what? Did you see it? I go, see what? I don't know what you're talking about. Look, I was watching television. I tuned by the Met game. And they mentioned your name. I said, they mentioned my name on the Met game. I don't even know. I go, all right. I go, Gary threw out the first pitch. He's been really nervous. My father doesn't even hear anything. He just goes, barrels on. He goes, look, so I never saw a pitch so horrible. I go, what? He goes, I never saw when they would show a pitch on TV like this. I tuned by, and they're talking about Howard Stern's producer threw out the first pitch. He says, you never saw a ball thrown like this. I go, oh, my God, Dad. And my father can't even have a conversation, but I go, oh, my God, do you know Gary was throwing out the first pitch? His worst nightmare is that the pitch would be wild. He goes, wild? I never saw a pitch like this in my life. Now my father's goofing on Gary. And I'm like,
oh, my goodness.
I said, you don't know how unbelievable this is because this is Gary's worst nightmare.
He literally talked himself into his worst nightmare.
Yeah. I said, this is his worst nightmare. I mean, I go, you're telling me it was awful? Now I'm getting like full of glee because if it was a good pitch, we'd be done.
Yeah, it'd be over.
Now I'm smelling the first 2 hours of the show are going to be fantastic because Gary's pitch was, he goes, it was unbelievable.
The man is right.
So
the man is right.
I immediately watched it. And, I said, I have it right here. You hold it down.
He's like, send it to me.
Yeah, right.
Like, he wants to remember
He couldn't believe it. Well, I watched the pitch, and Beth looks at me and goes, he threw it like a girl. No. So I go, what do you mean? She goes, I guarantee you I can throw better than that. She goes, my father, we used to go out and throw balls all the time. She has the first time. Her father was such a stickler for sports. I mean, she has two brothers who are both full scholarships for sports.
Like Penn State type stuff.
Yeah. Penn State, full scholarship for football and basketball at the University of Vermont. And, full ride, didn't have to pay for college. And she said, my dad I would cry. He'd make me put on a glove. This is Beth. And she says he would throw balls at me until I would catch it. She said the first ball hit me in the head.
Oh.
And he made me stand there and keep. And he was like one of those sports dads.
Yeah.
Like the great Santini.
And she said I was always grateful in a weird way because she goes, I could always play any sport and throw a ball. And I said, yeah. I said, I don't know what happened with this guy. She goes, I've never seen a pitch like this.
And he supposedly can throw a pitch, right?
So
I don't know who told him that.
So we're drinking a bottle of wine at the house.
You're on that dead-end street still, huh?
Yeah, I'm still drinking. I'm sorry, Artie. And, I got to...
Hey.
I'm moving 2 guys in with me to watch me full time.
Why don't you make your own grave over there?
Yeah. So, anyway, and by the way, when I saw the pitch, I saw Artie was standing right there next to the catcher.
Oh, Artie did show up.
I showed
He was
up.
down on the field.
Oh, I showed up.
And I said, where were your 2 bodyguards?
One was Joe was right next to
Oh,
me.
he was.
Look at it. You see me and Joe laugh like we're watching.
I got upset. I thought you were on your own.
He escaped.
No, Joe was with me.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because that's a place to score. Shea Stadium, whatever stadium that's called now.
Oh, no, City Field.
City Field.
Believe me, the neighborhood outside City Field is the same as it was outside Shea Stadium.
Right.
It looks like it's a bunch of chop shops for cars, though.
Yeah, so I'm watching this thing and I go, oh my God, Artie's there at the game. And I mean, it must have been unbelievable. So now now the first thing I do is Beth is on Facebook. So I said, can you go to Gary's page? So I said, let's leave some messages.
Oh, God.
I go, we go, hey, we really loved your pitch. And I don't know, I wrote some other things. I go, oh, then I see that Gary Thursday night was at the Bruce Springsteen show in Toronto.
Oh.
He flew there with Ross. I mean, Ross ought to go have his head examined, and so should Gary. So I wrote on his thing, oh, we're in Toronto Thursday. Maybe if you stayed home and got some sleep, you wouldn't have pitched so fucking bad.
Yeah, you shouldn't be traveling when you have to pitch.
Gary sang the first song at the Springsteen concert, and it was shit as well.
Yeah, I bet. So all of a sudden, I'm goofing. And I said, so Beth and I go, I got to call Gary. I called Gary. I go, oh, what happened? He goes, I'm on my second Scotch bowl.
Yeah, he started getting loaded.
He was getting loaded. And
I had to
drinking.
leave.
It was unbelievable.
Really? He was that devastated that now he had to get drunk?
He had to get drunk.
Some fortitude.
I go, that was your worst nightmare? He goes, I don't know why I did it. So I didn't want to start busting his balls too bad.
Right then, yeah.
I watched this pitch. I wrote to Sal and Richard. I said, find that kid who does the animation for us. Kevin Lofton.
Yeah, Kevin Lofton.
I said, find him. I said, so follow the trajectory of the ball. After it leaves the stadium, where does it ends up in outer space? But you see it, you go with it all over. It's orbiting the Earth, the pitch.
It's space junk now.
I mean, it was unbelievably bad.
It was a
Where
double.
did it go?
Well, it was a double whammy because, first of all, I wish I would have played catch with Gary because I love Gary to death. But someone's misinforming him. He can't throw. He throws like a chick.
Oh,
and
that's what
I would have
Beth
played.
said.
I would have played catch with him for 2 seconds and begged them not to do it. I would have said, I said,
Get your son out
I'll
there.
teach you how to call in sick or something. I mean, you can't do it because he throws like he didn't play high school ball.
But that's why he was nervous, because you're right. He claims he can throw a ball.
He can't. He can't throw a ball. No, he can't. I would have known it. John Hine is not his friend because John let him believe he can. Anyone who plays catch with the guy, I said 2 pitches, I could have figured out he can't throw a ball.
What is he doing wrong?
I don't know. What does my sister do wrong when she throws it? I don't know. I mean, that's the thing when you play catch with a fucking broad. Sometimes chicks go, let's play catch, and you're always running after the ball. They
Right.
never reach you, and and the poor catcher for the fucking Mets. Every fucking home game, there's another jerk off throwing out the first pitch, and this guy
He get killed.
Yeah, but not killed. I mean, it was a double fuck up because Gary threw the ball incredibly soft and gay,
Right.
and nowhere near the umpire had to get it. The umpire had to fucking get it.
The umpire caught the ball.
The umpire had to catch the ball because the catcher's like, I'm not getting up. I gotta fucking catch a game now.
Did the umpire actually catch the ball, or did he
The
like?
umpire
He
run
says,
after
go
it.
get
He
it.
had to go get it. Ball was not there, ball.
Me and Robert Smigel were there. I said to Smigel, I said, what a great day. We just saw Lance Bass throw out the first pitch.
Was the umpire cracking up?
The whole stadium was laughing.
Oh, Oh, my God. First of all, they were Baba booing.
Right.
Every other word was fag. And that was just for me and Joe.
Oh, my God.
I mean, look.
Because I said to Gary, when I called him, I go, what did Artie say? He goes, Artie just, hit me on the back, and he basically said, better luck next time or something. And so you were, like, saving it up for the... Everyone, you know what? Here this morning, nobody would talk to Gary. Like, Will wouldn't talk to no one because, Gary says to me, oh, my God. He goes, do you notice no one's talking to me? I go, Gary, they're all waiting and saving it for the air. Listen to this. The Daily News called Gary's pitch the most embarrassing ceremonial first pitch in baseball history.
Howard, some broad who I've never heard of sang the national anthem.
Yeah.
She looked like a Britney Spears or something.
Right.
She should have thrown out the first pitch.
She would have done a better job.
And I was trying to justify what Gary did. It was Autism Awareness Day.
You should have said he had autism.
I said Gary was nice. He threw out the pitch like he's autistic.
Yeah, he wanted the kids to feel good about themselves. Will, it was obvious you weren't even talking to them.
It was great. I brought my whole family, went out to the game on Saturday.
Philly fans.
I just wanted to see him throw that pitch.
And by the way, we should mention, because it was Autism Day, Gary had brought in about 100 listeners to watch him throw the first pitch.
First of all, Gary did an incredibly nice thing. Gary probably raised a shitload of money for charity. It was a charity thing, and he made the ultimate sacrifice. He looked like a fruit.
What did Gary's son say?
I don't know. I just saw Gary put his head down. He was like so embarrassed.
First of all, Gary's kids are the nicest fucking kids. Mary's great.
Did they feel bad?
Lucas is such a sweet kid. He came up to me before the pitch and said to me, Artie, I love my dad, but if he screws up, you got to make fun of him. That's what he said.
Right.
After the pitch, he saw how sad his father was, and the sweetest thing happened in the suite we had. He came back up to me and, like, dead serious, he goes, "Please don't be too hard on my father." So I promised him, but Lucas, you're learning something about life right now. I have a job. I got to do it. I'm making money.
You made a deal with a drug addict, Lucas. They don't tell you the truth.
This is the way it usually goes with them.
But he should have let Jackson throw it out. Because Jackson even said to me, you could tell he's a good athlete, and he said, I want to throw it out. I would love to. Like, he was ready to go.
And by the way, Sal is in the hallway for the TV cameras mimicking Gary's first pitch before we get to Will.
What's he throwing, like Sal?
Let's see. Oh, there it is. He's got the Gary mask on. You're throwing it too good. Oh, you're winding up. Okay. It's like a shot put.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
Wow.
When Sal does that, that's funny. That should be Sal's stand-up act.
I mean, when I heard Will was there, I'm thinking, like, it's all Philly fans, like, in this family.
I was with every patio.
What happened when you were in the stands, you were watching?
Yeah, we were way back in the outfield, so I had a bad angle for it. So he throws the ball, and you're like, oh, okay, it's going to reach the plate. He actually threw it far enough.
Right.
But then it hits the umpire, who's about 5 feet right of the batter's box. You're like, is it even physically possible to throw the ball that badly? But then you could just see he was, like, crushed. John Main's pushing him off the mound. He's like, get out of here, asshole.
Yeah.
It was just funny.
Wow.
He was crushed. Gary's face.
And it's humiliating because the fans start to boo you, right?
Yeah, well, listen, Met fans are, first of all, self-loathing people.
Right.
Because I thought I was going to catch a lot of shit. But they were, every Met fan I saw said, "Artie, we love you. You're right, we are fags." But I have my list that maybe we should make lists. I'm definitely going to do my gayest Met list.
Right.
And Gary's in the honorary gayest Met.
Ralph, you're on the air. Did you see the pitch?
I thought Star Trek was good.
He's better.
He threw like a Star Trek fan.
How do you... I don't understand, like, how did it, like, it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all that, first of all, and then
He
Gary...
had a pitching coach.
That's nothing. You don't even know the half of it. When I spoke to Gary and he was drinking scotch on Saturday night after this fiasco, I said, what's going on? He goes, he had hired a psychologist
Oh, God.
Get out of here.
to work through it with him.
Fire that guy.
He hired a guy to do 100 pitches with him, a pitching coach, and Gary goes, I don't know. I threw 95 of those pitches perfectly, and then 5 of them went bad, and now I'm focused on the 5 that went bad. So then he hired the psychologist to work
get
through
that
with
out
him.
of his head.
He should have had the psychologist throw out the pitch.
But what you're telling me, Artie, is Gary doesn't know how to throw. He should have had the psychologist.
He doesn't. I'm telling you, I could tell. I played baseball for a long time.
Right.
And I played like hardball. I played in a fast pitch league for a while. And I know what it's like. You play catch with a guy, you could tell, okay, this guy knows how to throw a ball.
Right.
And I'm telling you, if I played catch with Gary, I could have told him, don't do it, man. Just like I would have told Chris Rock not to do it when he fucking did it. Like, I don't think Chris Rock is as funny anymore.
Was Gary's worse than Chris Rock?
Yes. I think it was the worst pitch in the history. I mean, the Met players and fans, everybody around in the suite. I mean, you know, the autistic kids were going, wow. Sebastian Bach was there.
Yeah.
First of all, the Sebastian Bach had the line of the day.
What did he say?
Sebastian Bach sang 3 songs before the game, and no one was listening to him.
Right.
Well, I thought he sounded pretty good.
Right.
And afterwards, we see him, and you know, he's like one of those, dude, what's up?
Yeah, he's a heavy metal guy.
Yeah, right, heavy metal guy.
Yeah.
The lead singer of Skid Row in the 80s. But he goes, all I know is Gary threw worse than I sang.
That's the ultimate insult.
Thank God for Gary, is what he's saying.
There was like,
He threw worse than I sang.
we all took a picture.
Do you know the Daily News? I mean, for the Daily News newspaper to say,
Comment even on a picture.
I mean, to say it's the single most embarrassing moment in the history of first pitches.
Yeah.
In the history of the Mets, you know
what
the
is that,
embarrassing moments the Mets have?
Oh, here it is.
Worse.
Gary Dell'Abate, we all know him as Baba Booey from the Howard Stern Show, delivered what has to be the most embarrassing ceremonial first pitch in baseball history Saturday. He had been talking for weeks on the Stern Show about doing this, and Saturday he finally got his shot. The video is below, pretty bad. He may actually be better than Perez and Green combined. If you look closely, you can see Stern sidekick Artie Lang, a Met hater, to the far left during the pitch. In all seriousness, Dell'Abate, a Mets fan, was at Citi Field, the Celebrity Gifts for Autism Awareness Day, which is a great cause, one that's dear to my heart. Good job, Gary, on that. But the single most
pitch.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to remember why he was there.
That was from the Daily News, Howard?
Daily News.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, let me check that.
You see, you know.
Yeah, Daily News.
I love
I think I'm absolutely sure I could do better.
Well, actually, Ralph, after that pitch, you should worry about your job. I think Gary should be picking out Howard's clothes.
I mean, what was that? What? I mean,
Howard,
first of all, so in other words, what I'm learning is Gary doesn't know he can't throw.
Yeah, and a lot of people. But you know how everyone thinks they're funny?
Right.
You know what I mean? My buddy's the funniest guy, and then you meet him and you want to punch him in the face.
Right.
There's a ton of guys who think they can throw and they think they're athletes.
Artie, listen. He didn't even come close to the plate.
I understand, Ralph, but I'm sure Gary could at one time in his life throw. I'm sure he remembers being in the 8th grade, throwing the ball and being good. But Artie, Gary's had such a different life than playing ball for so long.
About throw like he's a pitcher, he's a sportsman or something.
You can forget to throw.
Yeah,
I think you can, sure.
You get to hit the guy you're throwing at.
Well, I mean, you know.
Maybe Gary thought the umpire was the catcher. Gary, the single worst. Do you think yours was worse than Chris Rock even?
Gary.
No, okay, so mine wasn't worse than Chris Rock because mine stayed in the frame. You know, Chris Rock went out. And by the way, I would love to have Chris Rock's publicist because you can't find a video of that anywhere.
Is that true?
You can, Howard. I searched high and low on the internet. They must have had it scrubbed.
It's not on YouTube?
Nope, not on YouTube. Nowhere.
How is that possible?
I don't know. Seriously, somebody's got it.
You were freaking out too. You said to me, I don't understand how they're showing this on TV over and they never showed the first pitch, and yet they were showing it everywhere. In fact, here, wait, let me play these for you.
It's the most popular thing on YouTube.
Wait, let me play this. Yeah, Howard TV has video of the throw, by the way. Here's the.
Let me see it again. I don't think
Yeah, here it is.
This is like watching.
Why did you do this?
Well, first of all, there's a couple of things going on. I'll let you.
What happened?
I swear to God, I can throw, and I swear to God that the way that looks like I can't throw.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what's going on. No, I'm gonna tell you why.
Explain it.
I'll explain it to you as best I can.
Like, do you know right away that was the right after you released it? When do you realize this is going horribly wrong?
So here's a few things that are going on. I can throw better than that. I promise you.
Right.
So I'm standing on the side.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
No, I got you. I knew it was one pitch. So I'm standing on the side, and I've got like 8 minutes before I have to go out there. I'm just getting more and more nervous, nervous. I start to do that thing that I do. You know how
your lips?
No, a dry heave.
Oh,
dry heave.
Like when I get really nervous, I start to cough like I'm going to throw up.
Oh.
Gee, I didn't even know about that disgusting.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah. I thought you meant licking your lips and teeth.
No. I start to get the dry heaves.
Wow.
So I'm doing it on the side, and the guy that's with me from the Mets is looking at me like I'm out of my fucking mind.
Right.
when I get so I've been given so much advice from so many different people. Some people say, just go out and throw it, don't
what
pitch.
What kind of advice are they giving
Some people say, just go out and throw it and don't pitch. And some people say, go and pitch. And what that was a bad combination of me saying I'll pitch, and at the last minute go, no, I'll just throw it. You know what I mean?
It was a bad combination of gay guy and chick.
Right. Listen, I can't.
Did Artie bust your balls there, or you saved it for now?
They saved it for now.
Yeah, right. That was smart.
I'm an 8-year veteran on the show now. I know what to do.
Why waste your time there? No one can hear it.
I asked Smigel to call me with any joke he had.
What did Smigel say when it went down?
He was just laughing. I mean, he said actually, Smigel said, he goes, listen, I love Gary, but what does he wear? He's Baba Booey. It's fucked either way.
How bad, so once you release the ball, and you see the umpire trying to, chase it down, what are you thinking at this point?
I'm thinking that this is what I was afraid of. This was it. This was all of it put together, the worst of the worst. I mean, you start thinking of all the things you don't want to do. You don't want to throw it over the head. You don't want to bounce it.
I mean, for my father to call me.
Oh, your father was the least who called me.
Oh, my God. Who called you?
Well, it's always funny who wants to be the first to give you bad news.
Yeah, I was pretty much the first one on your face.
I got a lot of texts. Like,
the first person to give you bad news is your arm.
Right. A lot of people were texting me. Yeah. I got about a dozen texts from Booker. It started with, hey, heard it didn't go well. Hey, that's okay. I did it once. And then around the 8th or 9th one, it's about 6:30 at night. I'm drinking, and it just goes, dude, you're on the news. That's what the text says.
Yeah. Wait, who sent you that?
Booker.
Oh, Booker.
Hey, at least you made the news, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if you'd thrown out a perfect pitch, it would have been over.
You're way more famous than you were the other day.
This is a bit of a montage of... This is just different newscasts picking up the story.
Wow.
Which is unbelievable. Yeah, because Gary was like... this thing won't be seen. It's not going to come around.
Yeah,
blah,
I was
going
to say, you didn't think it was going to be this big.
No, I didn't think it was going to be this bad. Once I saw how bad it was, I thought. Listen, here's what happened. This
is Star Wars big.
Here's what happened. So here's what happened. So it's a bad pitch. We all know it's a bad pitch. I'm bummed out, but still, in my mind, it's within the Howard Stern universe. Right. Meaning, you come to work on Monday, you guys make fun of me, we show it, we put it on the TV show and everybody sees it.
Jeff Caro might yell at you.
Right. Yeah, right. So and the listeners are there, but listen, the place only holds 40,000. You know what I mean? So what happens is during the game, this guy Kevin Burkhardt is a really nice guy. He interviews me during the game, and then they show it. When they show it, my heart just stopped, because then I realized now it's been taken out of the Howard Stern universe.
It's on everywhere.
And sent to the world.
Right.
And then like yesterday before the game, Jackson puts the game on every day. And before the game, that mayor of Cincinnati that threw like the worst pitch ever? I turn on the game, it's 12:59, and I see they're doing a side by side.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding. But here's the worst. Here's the worst part of the whole thing. This is one of the worst catastrophes I've ever seen. And they say it's close.
Wouldn't it be cool if Major League Baseball started to use this clip like in an opening montage for every single game?
Like it became like a
wide
world of sports.
This week in fags.
So they decided that as bad as mine was, it's pretty bad, but not quite as bad as the mayor of Cincinnati, but it's very close.
Right.
So I realize now that for all eternity, I'm the second worst pitch. The worst pitch in New York, the second worst pitch, and I'm linked to the mayor of Cincinnati.
This might make Jackson a Yankee fan.
Well, all of this is going on the whole weekend, like leading up to this. Mary's like getting mad at me, even like the couple of days before the game.
Because you're stressed out.
I'm stressed out. I'm ruining everything, and
because Beth said to me, "How will Mary be about this?" I said, "Mary's a real ball buster. She's not going to sit and give him any compassion."
No, so
she shouldn't. I mean, this is ridiculous.
So it's the whole thing.
He embarrassed the whole family.
Have Mary and your sons been relocated yet? Aren't they in the witness protection program?
All right, here's your new name.
So we get home on Saturday, and I'm really bummed out. Mary's like, God, I've been putting up with this for 2 weeks. Is this going to go on now?
Right.
I go, Mary, it's all over the fucking news.
Yeah.
She goes, who gives a shit? Like, really, what do you care? You did a great thing
you're
for autism.
You're a man.
And I'm like, you're a woman. You do not understand what this means.
And she goes, you're a woman, too.
So, yesterday...
How do you understand what it means?
So yesterday at 1 o'clock after this thing is on TV...
Right.
Wow. I just, hang my head, and I go in my office, and I'm in there. And she just comes in, and she goes... So you're gonna ruin Mother's Day? She goes, this is what it's gonna be. She goes, this is my day, and now it's all about you.
Oh my God. You're really, really, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is way up there, right?
Oh my God! No,
Yeah.
it's a
disaster.
Howard, the Met fans were so brutal because we were on the field,
right?
And Gary was ahead of me, and me and Joe were walking by. All these fans stopped to tell me what to say on the show. Like they would tell me their names. These two brothers came up to me and said, "Artie, tell Gary that Jake and Chubba from Queens says he's a fag."
Yeah, can I just say you could not have done a better job.
Thank you, Ralph.
Yeah, this is the greatest for the show. I mean, it's
Gary fucked up at the ball game. Looked like a dope in front of the crowd. Threw like a sissy, and that's a fact. His throw should be considered a homosexual act. So let's boo. Boo, boo, ba, ba, boo. He should be spanked by Hal McRae. 'Cause it's 1, 2, 3 times you're gay when you throw 20 feet from home plate.
I can't do it. I'm too stupid. I just can't figure it out, I swear. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm an idiot. I'm a friggin' idiot. Go fuck yourself. Shut up, asshole. Fuck you, you white asshole.
fuck you white asshole.
You white
Oh,
asshole.
what was that?
Richard, by the way, Richard, I guess definitely grew up in Kansas because the one player he put in there is from
Hal McRae.
the 1977 Royals.
Hey, this is sweet. Gary's kids are on the phone. They want to make him feel better. Hey, Gary's kids. Oh, that's mean. Kids, what do you think of your dad? All right, they can't stop
That sounds like Jake and Chubba from Queens.
Howard, here's how you know it's really, really bad. I get a text. I'm going to pick up my mother to bring her home for Mother's Day. I get a text on my phone, and it says, sorry about the first pitch. How are you doing? And you know how people text you and you don't know who it is?
Yeah.
So I go, who sent this? Because they should put their name on it. So what I usually do is I hit the button to dial it, and then I usually get the person's voicemail. It was the owner of the Mets. It was Jeff Wilpon.
You're kidding me.
I sort of know him.
Oh,
but he's just like, he wanted to see how I was doing.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
By the way, they announced the game in Spanish. You could even hear during Gary's first pitch they reference it.
Pero primero, aquí está Gary Delabate del Howard Stern Show para tirar la primera pelota del juego.
Please welcome Gary Delabate.
También lo conoces como Baba Booey. Y ahí va. A la puchica, este pendejo Monkey Boy no puede tirar para nada. Quizás con ese gran peso de su tooth and gums enorme, su balance ya está todo chiflado. Los otros jugadores ya casi están cayendo por el ass breath que tiene este hombre. Ahí va ese Neanderthal jungle creature, ¿oímos? Todo el mundo. Y ya vamos a regresar después de este comercial.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
I got to tell you, the other thing is, it's a real, sociological study in how people treat you, because some people who you think are your friends, I got a couple of emails from people who were really, put the best spin on it. Like John Hine, okay, is a great friend, but Mark Tinker and Jeff Probst both sent me notes that were like, dude, it was a fucking disaster, but trying to be supportive. And then some people are just like, what the fuck?
Just asshole.
Did you read what I wrote on your Facebook?
Yeah.
I wrote, I was nasty. I wrote, what the fuck are you? First of all, I see Baba Booey went off to Toronto. I said,
Right.
I love how you can always connect those two.
I wrote, how did you have time
Following
to...
Springsteen?
Yeah, I go,
I saw Springsteen in 79. That's why I fucked the pitch.
I go, how do you... He went to Toronto Thursday night. I go, how do you have time to go to Toronto? And Ross Zapin, too.
I'm off on Friday.
Springsteen will be here. Why does he have to go to Toronto?
I'm going next week in New Jersey, 10 feet from my house.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
But you know what, Howard? If I had time, I would have gone.
I go, maybe if you didn't jet off to Toronto, you would have been awake enough to
But
fucking
why
throw
do
the
you need
pitch.
to see him in Toronto?
I don't know.
Is he better
know.
in Toronto?
What did you do? You went to the... I heard the plane was late, the whole thing.
Yeah, the plane was delayed. We barely got there.
Oh, my God.
But we got there.
Why would you put yourself through that? Fucking insane. What do you got there, Jason?
An article from Newsday.com.
Oh, Newsday.
What does Newsday say?
Let's see. Howard Stern's longtime producer, Gary Delabate, is infamously known as Baba Booey. The history of the nickname comes from a mistake Delabate made in the studio many years ago. Saturday, Baba Booey messed up again, big time. Watch it. Then they have the tape on the Newsday.com.
Oh, they direct you to that. Huh?
Yeah.
They're driving people to the website with it.
And then guys write comments underneath it, and it's like,
God.
ouch, Gary. This pitch just makes me cringe. I watched it live about 15 times. As someone who pitched for 10 years, he should have called me and not a sports psychologist, as he claims.
Howard, that's not a comment. That's the author.
Oh, that's the author.
My God. That's the writer from Newsday.
The key, I thought it was like a kid. This is great. The key is to put zip on the ball, Gary, and throw over the top. I really can't decide what it looked like. Maybe a boomerang throw, but I've never thrown a boomerang. It just looks horrible. Continuing to pile on, it's one of the most unathletic things I've ever seen from a grown man. It ranks second to Chris Rock's opening pitch, so at least you're behind Chris Rock. There's some good in this.
Apparently it's worse than Chris Rock's, right?
Artie loves this.
Let me just say that. The last time I was at a Met game was 1985, I told Gary. And the only 2 times I went back to Shea Stadium after that was to see the Who and the Rolling Stones. Right. This blew both away.
Did you know right away, like as someone who played ball, when even the wind up is sort of.
Well, I didn't wind up.
My suggestion to Gary was to wind up, because if you wind up, you kind of get lost in the wind up a little bit, and it takes your head off throwing.
Right.
Like
a lot of people said, and then already just as many people said, don't wind up.
Really?
People just said, just throw it like you're throwing in the front yard. Again, I'm telling you.
Well, clearly you should have listened to them.
I'm telling you, Jackson and I went out on the front lawn that morning because I walked it off. I threw the pitch, and it was a strike.
Walked it off.
In other words, we had the distance.
You
walked
measured
up the
it off.
distance. Fag.
Here's the problem, Gary. You spent way too much time thinking about that.
That's right.
Well,
That's
can I
right.
say something?
Yeah, but
First of all, why put yourself in that position? In other words, I don't even think I've thrown a hard ball in my life. I don't know, maybe 10 times.
You do better, though, I'm sure.
I think I would, because I've thrown balls and they...
Well, you're the type of person who the type A would kick into, where you'd you'd make sure you could do it, otherwise you wouldn't do it.
Of course. Right. In other words, why did you... Gary, you can't throw a ball. I've never seen...
I swear to God I can, and I swear to God I throw a ball every day.
I don't know what you call this, when you go like this...
But I decided to do...
That's like a girl throws.
I decided to do 10 things at once.
It looked like you were in the Go-Go's.
Yeah. Listen, I won't deny for a second how bad it looks, and I
the biggest part is the way you threw it.
I know, but that's because I tried. Like I went to
like
go.
Artie, like that's what.
Howard, I know. I couldn't even do it. I tried to imitate it, and everything I did looked more manly.
Artie being there, was that like the greatest thing ever?
Ralph, I'm telling you, it was better than any concert I've been to. It was the atmosphere. First of all, I wanted to hate that place, and I fucking love it.
It was nice, huh?
Baseball heaven, man.
Wow. So will you go again? Will you maybe go to some Met games?
If the Yankees beat them again in the World Series, I'll go, yeah. I showed Jackson.
You like it better than the new Yankee Stadium?
Well, I haven't been there yet.
Oh,
I'm going to the Yankee game with my tickets for the first time Friday coming up.
All right.
And I can't wait.
Throw a ball out there.
Yeah, but
I could hit. If you were sitting at home plate, I probably could hit you.
But
you want a second shot at this?
No.
Why don't you?
I thought about it. I really did. I thought about it.
Would you like me to arrange for that?
No.
That would be too funny.
That would be the best.
I understand
because it's the pressure that I can't.
But I understand. What I understand about Gary's situation is the pressure, because. Look, I've thrown a baseball a million times, and I threw out the first pitch at a Newark Bears game, which isn't even close to being as devastatingly pressure-packed as this. It's a lot of pressure.
But this is his worst thing. In other words, he couldn't have thrown it worse. In other words, let's say he had missed. Let's say he didn't get a strike. Let's say, it
dribbled or something.
Or maybe he didn't even reach home plate.
Yeah.
At least this was his worst nightmare. I mean, it couldn't have been worse than
it. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
That ball is somewhere on the moon right now.
It's like the greatest episode of Seinfeld ever.
Like an air ball.
Do they give you the ball after?
Oh, yeah, I have it.
Oh, did you throw it out?
No, it's at my house.
I mean, you don't want to be reminded.
The ball is defective.
Why would you keep that?
You know what, Garrett?
Throw it in the garbage.
You should keep it and have have Lance Bass sign it or something.
That's funny.
Like have all of NSYNC sign it.
No, have it analyzed.
Good bitch, Joey Fatone. Great throw, Garrett. Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't you, Gary. You have that analyzed. Something's wrong with that ball.
You should have signed it. That guy Lou who discovered the Backstreet Boys.
No, he's in prison. I can get it to him.
The guy who's in prison for fucking boys.
I'm gonna ask Mary.
Allegedly fucking a boy.
I'm gonna ask Mary to send me the ball, and I'm gonna send it to Lou.
Just send it to whatever ass fuck prison Lou's in, and say, Lou, next time your cellmate's fucking you, could you sign this ball? to Gary.
Poor Gary. Gary's standing here while Artie and I are laughing. Robin's laughing.
But you know what?
And you don't even know what to do with yourself.
I mean, this is, you
expected it.
Expected.
Can I just say, for people who haven't seen it, it with the camera, when the camera's on, and he throws it off camera.
No, I know.
If they charge money on YouTube? I've never been on there. I don't know.
No, it's free.
Oh, yeah. I was saying, if they charged, it had to make more than Star Trek this weekend.
Oh, absolutely. This will be the most downloaded clip ever in the history.
But, in a sense, it proves sort of how many people. It's amazing how many people know, and it's a testament to the show, Baba Booey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. Like, all 40,000 people knew. When you say Baba Booey, all the fucking ushers. Oh, wait, this is the greatest thing ever. So there's a guy, Charlie, who works there.
Yeah.
Charlie is a quintessential New Yorker, like the greatest guy. When he goes, Artie, tell Howard I said hi, I love you, man. My son loves the show. You get to meet my son, blah, blah, blah. He goes, what's Gary going to do? You think he's going to throw the ball good? I'm like, I guess, we'll see what happens. After Gary threw the ball, Charlie's walking around. He's supposed to be working. Charlie's walking around going to everybody, what a fucking fag! I never seen a faggot throw! He came up to me red in his face laughing, going, Artie, that was the gayest thing I've ever seen! And I once saw a guy suck a cock! Is that what he said?
That guy's a comedian.
Charlie, if you're listening, call in. That's the gayest thing I've ever seen, and I once saw a guy suck a cock.
Hook-Nose Mike is on the air. We've spoken to him in a while. Hook-Nose, hi.
Hey, good morning, Howard. You Hook-Nose, you bastard. Listen, Gary, you have to let Howard set it up again. You got to redeem yourself.
I think in a way you do.
You do.
Yeah, good. That's good advice, Hook-Nose.
No, but Gary really needs to go out there and throw the pitch
Listen,
properly.
You need to get this one behind you.
Garrett, do me a favor. Can we play catch one day?
Yeah.
And and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to say if Gary should do it again. I'm going to be brutally honest.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
But
Hey,
based
Howard,
on what you saw...
Howard film Artie having a catch for
Yeah,
Gary,
we'll
too.
film it. But Artie, based on what you saw...
Right.
I mean, Gary gives you this thing he was winding up, but also doing something else, 10 different throws.
Right.
The fact of the matter is, he can't throw, and he doesn't know it. And he's one of those guys, like you say, who thinks they're funny, and they're not.
Right.
And you saw absolutely no indication that he can throw.
Listen, you know how... Look, like when I went to see a shrink for the first time, he told me how fucked up I am because he's an expert. He's like, look,
Right.
dude, you're fucked up.
And you accepted it.
Yeah, I accept because, I mean, the guy knows what he's talking about. Major league pitchers are calling Gary and saying it was the worst thing they've ever seen. I mean,
The guy from the Daily News
the
is
owner
saying
of the
it.
Mets, the Daily News.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
My
you know what,
father-
Gary, really is
My
the
father
best.
hasn't called me in 10 years.
Hello?
My father goes, my father's like, did you see that pitch? I go, yeah, Dad. He goes, what kind of pitch was that? He goes, well, it was unbelievable. We got to call my dad.
Guys get angry about that because I get off the plane yesterday and the guy who meets me at the plane says, Gary sucks.
Well, Gary is a guy's guy. Like,
You know
Gary knows sports. You can talk to sports. So you think it's going to be better. And then,
But you know what's bad? Listen to these reports. My name's all over his shitty pitch.
Right, I know. Your name's getting dragged
You got
through the
fucked
mud.
again.
Yeah, he fucked me, really. I'm the one getting fucked.
I said to Gary, you know what? You got to beg Bob Schimmel to beat up his wife.
You need to
Right.
go into the witness protection
way-
program with Mary Jackson and Lucas.
Artie said that, not me.
No, almost, allegedly beat up his wife.
The whole story
Thank you,
will
Artie.
come
It was a whole other thing.
All right, listen to this. This is a montage of Baba Booey's first pitch news stories that were immediately on TV.
Wow.
The game's first pitch was thrown out by Howard Stern's producer, Gary Dell'Abate. A little awful. Baba Booey, Baba blew it.
Gary Dell'Abate from Howard Stern, Baba Booey. That's just embarrassing.
Baba Booey. Not sure who he is, but I'm told he's a Howard Stern personality. Well, he can't pitch. Throws the first pitch badly.
Howard Stern's sidekick, Baba Booey, threw out one of the worst ceremonial first pitches on record.
Oh, my God.
And he didn't come close to finding the catcher.
Baba Booey from the Howard Stern Show. That's the worst first pitch I've ever seen.
Baba Booey. Gary Dell'Abate from the Howard Stern Show, throwing out the first pitch at the Pirates-Mets game.
Oh, my God.
Didn't go real well.
Fans of Howard Stern, this is Baba Booey for you. And that guy, for all the bad karma he's built up, that's exactly what he deserves.
And today at City Field, Gary Dell'Abate of the Howard Stern Show shows how not to throw a ceremonial first pitch. As Bob Uecker would say, the pitch was just a bit outside. Obviously, the guy they call Baba Booey never played baseball at his former high school, Uniondale High on Long Island. In the words of Bill Walton, that was horrible.
So New York, Baba Booey from the Howard Stern Show throwing the first pitch badly. I hope they Baba booed him out of the park.
Oh. I mean, that is really your worst nightmare, guy.
That's it.
It's like the greatest episode of Seinfeld ever.
But again,
you're George.
Uniondale High School.
Is embarrassed.
See, that explains one of my guys I went to high school wrote me on Facebook about embarrassing the high school. But now
Gary, this is a disaster.
How do I leave the house, Ralph? At the end of the day, it's hugely embarrassing. I still produce a major radio show.
He lives in Connecticut. There's no fruits up there.
Gary, all that considered, you can't throw a ball.
Okay, fine. You can't get a job.
Yeah, I have a job.
No, you don't.
And I can throw a ball better than you.
That I would like to see.
That I promise you. I'll bet you $1,000 I could throw a ball better than you.
I'll tell you what, Ralph, because you're such a big mouth.
Yeah.
Why don't you go and throw out the first pitch at Citi Field?
Sure, why not?
But, I mean, because
they're not looking for him.
No, but I'm saying, he thinks he can throw it better, but but he doesn't care about the pressure because he's half a fag anyway.
But Gary, he probably can throw it better because he's good. Anyone could outdo that pitch, probably.
Well, not anyone.
I like the chick who goes, and Gary Baba blew it.
Oh my God!
I like when they call him Gary Delabonte.
I know, but they all get Baba Booey correct.
Yeah, that they get.
First of all, if you put it on a scale,
when a chick says he Baba blew it.
Chris Rock grew up, I think, in a project in Bed-Stuy.
Right.
He probably never played
There
Little
wasn't
League.
a field anywhere near him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like his father probably left him at an early age.
I don't know if
he's
Rock.
from his father was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
black guy and his father was there. Okay.
According to the show, everyone hates Chris. He's got a dad. I don't know, but he grew up in Bed-Stuy. I know, so there's he probably didn't spend a lot of time playing ball.
Yeah.
So you gotta give Rock that a little bit. Gary actually played. Gary's is probably worse than Chris is on that level.
I mean, all the preparation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Doug Goodstein from Howard TV.
We have multiple angles of this, so we just analyzed the side angle of Gary, and in mid-pitch, you'll see he licks his lips, too.
By the way, how do you have multiple angles of this? Because you were allowed to shoot this,
we're doing a real licensing deal with Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Doug sends before you roll
stolen footage.
Yeah, Doug sends me a note this morning. Tell everyone not to watch YouTube. Only watch it on Howard TV because we have a licensed agreement with the Major League Baseball.
It's just frustrating.
I'm sitting there laughing. Yeah, okay, Doug.
Yeah, everybody's going to say, Evan,
it's so frustrating. I spent hours making a deal with Major League Baseball on Friday, and then, Yeah,
but you got the multiple angles and stuff. Everyone will tune into Howard TV.
Doug, Howard's a powerful guy, but I don't think in this day and age you get no one to watch YouTube.
I know, but Howard says
no one watch YouTube.
I didn't say that. I said I'm going to promote Howard TV, not YouTube, where it's illegal.
Well, because no one's going to wait for Howard TV. They're going to watch on YouTube, but you're going to have a funny multiple angle.
And then after this, there's also a shot when Gary ran out. He did something weird too. I don't even know if
he jumped over the line.
Yeah, he did like a weird hop over the line.
All right, so here's Gary from another angle. Artie, watch carefully. You're our expert. Go ahead. Here we go. Look, where did he go wrong?
Ooh, right there.
Yeah. See, even I know, and I'm not an expert.
Oh, look at his face. Oh.
It looks like he was aiming for the stand.
There's a beaten man.
You look like a beaten man.
Are any Met players laughing in the background?
Well, that's another thing. So I got a buddy who works for Rawlings, and he knows all the players. So the whole time he's emailing me, like, good luck with the pitch, how did it go? And he sent me back a note. This is probably the most stinging one of all. I got reports from all the players. It's worse than you imagine.
Oh, my God.
So that means, like, the players are like, now it's like the inside joke of the clubhouse.
Yeah.
I know how much this matters to Gary.
And it would matter to me, too. Yeah. I mean, that's where I can relate
to
it.
Fucked up like that.
Well, listen, I don't know, Howard. Maybe I would. But the one thing, like, what I would say in my head was, just don't look like a chick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I would throw it as hard as I could. And if it went wild, I would go, look, a lot of Major League pitchers throw wild, too.
Absolutely.
But just don't look like a broad. I don't know. It's a lot of pressure.
Artie, be honest. You wouldn't have thrown a ball like that.
No, of course you wouldn't.
It's physically impossible.
Here's that little hop.
You couldn't look like that.
I don't think so.
Here's the Gary hop.
Well, that's superstition. That's
a lot of players do that.
Managers do that.
He should have stepped all over that line.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you cared about superstition.
And I just want to point out one thing. Not that it matters much, but I didn't hire a sports psychiatrist. The guy, Fred, the guy emailed Fred and
whatever.
Then I called, but I didn't hire him. I didn't pay him.
You met with him though?
No. He gave me his phone number, and I talked to him on the way home one day.
Yeah.
He was
a big help.
How are you a Little League coach? Do you teach the kids how to throw?
Oh, my God. How can he go back?
Well, Little League chicks play.
Well, no, by the time I get them, they know how to throw, so I'm not teaching them how to throw. I'm teaching them where to throw. Listen, I pitch batting practice. I'm telling you, I can do better than that.
Right.
Batting practice.
You know what's the greatest
batting practice for who?
For the guys in the dugout?
What is that, Ralph?
Gary has like a jersey, like a baseball jersey on too.
Yeah,
no, it's a T-shirt, Ralph.
They gave him a Met shirt that said Baba Boo. Why number 9, by the way?
You know, I don't know. The guy handed it to me. I have no idea what the number meant.
That really was Bruce Beauclair's number. One quick Sebastian Bach story, because it was the funniest thing ever.
He's out of control.
He's out of control, but
he's high his dick in a knot.
Okay.
No, but sort
Listen to this. Listen to this. Everybody who's half a celebrity at one point who's down on the field, they asked to take a picture with all the autistic kids. There were like 10-year-old autistic kids there.
Probably like 10 autistic kids.
10-year-old autistic kids, okay? Right. They're right in front of us. They hear everything you say. And even I'm an obnoxious prick. I'm watching what I say. Sebastian Bach comes over to get in the picture. He wraps his arms around like me and Joe, like we're at a fucking Coke party or something. And he goes, dude, what's up? I got the best fucking weed in New York, man. Let's go fucking get stoned after this shit. This shit is like turpentine that I got. And he goes, Gary, thanks for talking about my cock. Gary always talks about my fucking cock on the show, man. And the autistic kids are like jumping up and down.
He said cock a good half a dozen times.
Like totally oblivious that there are kids around.
Yeah, like even my son.
Hey, man, what's the big deal? They got cocks too.
Yeah, who cares? And then he says,
who cares? They don't know what's going on.
He goes, dude, I read your book, and you know how your father took you to the front row at a Yankee game? My father did the same thing to me at a Kiss concert. But he said cock, what, 6 times, 7 times. And the kids are looking at him because he's screaming.
Right. And he's used to getting a lot of attention.
But I thought he sounded pretty good when he sang. I liked it. But it was funny to see that guy.
Did you explain to him that you're there with your police officer who's making sure you don't do any weed?
No, but Joe heard the whole thing. He said, I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah.
He said, because he kept going.
Would that have been a temptation?
To smoke weed with Sebastian Bach? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it's Sebastian Bach.
Right.
I remember, at an AA meeting once, I got up and I said, when I was like 27 years old, the first time I ever went, I said, well, I'm never drinking again. And then I said, unless I ever meet Frank Sinatra, and he wants me to have a scotch. I mean,
that's funny.
Guys, you wouldn't drink a scotch with Frank Sinatra?
You everybody said that at an AA meeting?
Yeah, I got thrown out.
So, Gary, someone told me that your attitude with this pitch is that you're going to embrace it fully and just start living like a woman. You're going to start.
Really? Who told you that?
That's what someone told me. Like you're going to get to the operation.
Changing his name.
Yeah.
That's who you should get to sign the ball, Siobhan.
Dominic, you're on the air.
Well, two things. First thing, I had to go to criminal court Sunday morning. A businessman got into a fight with his girlfriend, beat her up. I go all the way in the back where everyone's locked up and all these people are in there. And I go up to my client, and here he is, never in trouble in his life. He says, first thing he says to me is, did you see that pitch?
Is that true?
Is there any chance that that's true,
There's
Howard?
no way that's true.
Dominic is so...
Guys in jail?
Yeah, that's the first thing on his mind, Dominic. I mean, really. A guy's in fucking jail getting ready to be ass raped, and that's his first thing.
Can I tell you, walking in the streets, people are yelling it out?
To you?
Just yelling it out, of course. It's incredible.
The pitch heard round the world.
All right. Thank you, Dominic.
To be yelling, why don't you get married for a 5th time?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure which is more embarrassing.
You're dating your ex-wife?
Speaking of Dominic, Gary would have done better if he just ran up to the umpire and hit him with a plate of pasta.
Here's Artie's friend, Charlie. Do you know Charlie?
Oh, Charlie, yeah.
Charlie, yeah.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Oh, my God. It was the most retarded thing I've ever seen. I volunteered at a fucking mental institution for fucking 4 years after school. I'm not fucking kidding. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. How do you know Artie?
Well, I went to the City Field.
No, I met him for the first time on the field.
This isn't that guy.
This
isn't him. This is a younger guy. Charlie's an older guy.
Charlie, where exactly did we meet?
Right by, with the first time that I saw you City Field.
Yeah, no, this ain't him. This ain't him.
Yeah, he's pretending to be Charlie.
Good ear, Gary.
I actually know Charlie pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Wolfie, go ahead.
Friend.
Hey, Howard. I'm not one to usually be negative, but I've seen better arms on a snake. It reminded me of a little kid. They just wind up and throw, and they're 2 feet away from you, and the ball just completely jumps to the side. And I was actually rooting for the guy because his kids were there.
You know what did Gary in? I'll tell you what did Gary in, Wolfie. The pitch itself was not televised originally. You went out and did the first pitch. They don't televise that.
Well, they wouldn't have televised this one either.
Right.
What
But
happened
the pitch
was
in general is not
you
televised.
were interviewed during the game, and that's what did you in. They did the replay.
That's what I'm saying.
That was in the body.
That's when it was taken out of the Howard Stern universe and brought to the whole world. That's what did
Want
me
to
in.
hear that clip?
The body of the game.
As long as we're playing clips, I ought to play you that.
Hey, can I just point out, I'll help you with this one, as long as we're going the full route.
Yeah, where is it, by the way?
It's right below Gary Pitch 2. It says Kevin Burkhardt.
Set up for this. Gary fucks up the pitch in red.
Yeah.
It's Gary, GFP page, Gary fuck up pitch.
Did you find Howard?
Yeah, Gary interviewed.
Okay, but the important thing is, so Kevin Burkhardt is the field reporter. So
GGP, Gary gay pitch in red. wait, Gary gay pitch in pink.
So Kevin Burkhardt is
the jokes are endless.
Page 3.
This just writes itself.
Hey, Artie, can I ask you a question?
Wait, let me throw up.
Can I ask you a question?
This is a sitcom episode.
You know what? You ever seen Gary? When I went on YouTube, and like my father said, I said to my father still doesn't understand technology. I go, I'm going to go right on the computer and watch it. He goes, you can go on the computer.
You have it there?
You have it there? He couldn't even comprehend it. Like he doesn't even live in the universe.
Neither do I.
But as soon as I turn on, I go, that's Artie standing right next to the catcher. And I go, why the fuck, no matter what, would Gary have Artie? That had to,
that had to throw you off, too.
I didn't invite him. He just said he wanted to come, and I said, okay.
I said I might go. Nowadays I'm not on heroin. I'm up in the morning. I'm like, let's go outside. Yeah. I said to Joe, let's go to fucking City Field. I'm dying to see what it looks like. And Gary, it's a good cause and everything, and we all tried to help out the charity, and you get to see Gary throw like a fucking fag.
Hey, does
here it is
Joe have
again.
to okay it?
There's Artie. See, there's Artie.
Right.
By the way, look at about half the size of what he was.
Yeah.
How much weight have you lost?
40 pounds, Howard.
Wow.
I couldn't recognize you on the screen. You're so small.
The guy in the yellow, by the way, Howard, that's
good.
That's Charlie.
That's Charlie in the yellow, right there.
This guy right here?
Yeah, he's been an usher. He was an usher at Shea. He's been there forever.
He's down on the field, too.
No, he's always on the field.
I pointed to Lucas and Jackson because the old Shea Stadium's not there anymore. It's actually kind of sad.
Yeah.
I said, you see this parking lot? And they're like, yeah. I said, that's where the Yankees beat the Mets in 2000.
Hey, I have a question.
What?
Can't you get whacked with a ball? Look at how close the people are to the...
Well, not
during the game. They're not there during the game.
Oh, what is this?
This is Gary's pitch.
This is my pitch.
Yeah, I know, but during the game, they're not sitting there?
No. What do you say? Oh, the people
They're
that's
sitting
net.
there.
There's a net there.
There's a big net.
There's a big net. And the people that are like where Artie is, those people aren't on the field during the game.
All right. No, I don't mean the people on the field. I meant I didn't see the net.
The big net there, yeah.
Wow, that's good. So, Gary, are you guys... here they're rolling it from a different angle.
Watch the same angle. If you'll notice me, I turn around and stuff like that.
Yeah, now watch Artie. Artie's going to come... Artie's like... Artie's cracking up already. I think there's that guy Charlie talking to you.
Yeah. Charlie ran over to me, and he just got. I mean, like within 2 seconds, I turned around.
Look at what's going on. Forget Gary's pitch. Watch behind him.
I gotta watch Artie.
Artie moves to the side. The pitch goes off. Now Charlie runs toward Artie. Artie is doubled over with laughter.
Charlie ran over. That's what he said. The sucker cock line.
What was the line again?
He said, "Artie, that's the gayest thing I've ever seen, and I once saw a guy suck a cock."
There's not a bad angle of that.
Oh, my God. Mike, go ahead.
There ain't a good angle of it either.
Yeah, Mike.
Howard?
Yes.
Yeah, how about we put this on a loop, man, for Howard TV so we can see it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But not only that, I want to get can you get like close-ups of the frightening looks of the players, of the people in the stands?
I wonder if like the Sabruta film, if they can just take it like do a close-up on Artie, close-up on Charlie.
And even watch the trajectory of the ball here. And now here's where it goes off.
And then like see people in the stands, like in other words, those people behind the net there, like if they could just like somehow graphically improve the film.
It would be great if it got like the Zapruder film.
The expressions on their faces.
It would be great if it got like the Kennedy assassination, where people are like, there's another ball coming from a grassy knoll.
That's what you should have done. You should have had like somebody throw it from somewhere else.
Right, and forget
You should have had someone else throw it.
You were going to play that tape. I'm just trying to keep you on track.
Dude, that's all right. Don't worry.
We got time.
much like Baba Booey, Gary thought that would go away in a week. This is never going away. There's another one that's going to be with him forever.
Do you know the fans, Howard, are so funny? Like the Jake and Chubba guys. They said to me, "Listen, we're big Howard fans. You got to bust Gary's balls so I look like a fag." And then he said, "Could you say Happy Mother's Day to Jake and Chubba's mom on the air?"
In the middle of everything.
I said, "Yeah, that's what I'll do."
Frank, you're on the air in Longview. Longview, what is it, Washington?
Yes.
Okay.
Great pitch, Gary.
Do I detect sarcasm?
Oh, just a little bit. It was beautiful. No, actually, I loved it.
All right, Frank, there you go. So here's a guy who liked it.
Do it again.
Thank you, Frank.
Gary, please. I'll give him another chance. And I want to see Artie pitch.
Listen, man, I'd love to throw out the first pitch of the Yankee game, but the Yankees are notoriously snooty. They're a snobby organization.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually don't let just anybody onto the field.
I think you know what, and this pisses me off about the fucking Yankees, because Babe Ruth, fucked whores and drank and everything. I think they'd have an issue with this show, maybe, but I'm going to try. I would love to. I mean, listen, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll try.
If they have an issue with the show, I mean, George Steinbrenner used to do the show all the time.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
That's right. You guys used to interview him.
In fact, when the guy from Anthrax stole the on deck circle down at Tampa, he was going to go to jail, and he called Howard and said, "I know you're friends with Steinbrenner. Please help me."
Wow.
And we got Steinbrenner on the phone. Howard said, "Hey, he's a good guy. He didn't mean it." And Steinbrenner dropped the charges.
I forgot about that.
So
Listen,
we're that friendly with
I'll
him.
try to do it, and it would be pressure on me. It would. If anyone can make that happen out there in Yankee land,
I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Brett, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Gary. I just want to know which is more embarrassing to look at, your pitch or your boo-hoo, I miss you video.
Oh, the love video. Oh. Which is worse to you in terms of, like, the show and taking abuse?
So it's hard to tell. This one's too new.
Right.
Like, I need a couple of weeks to go by, but I guess they're probably pretty equal.
By a mile.
Ralph, I was just talking.
This is really embarrassing, Gary.
The only thing that sucks about this for Gary is he can't sell you the video.
That's right.
It happened already.
Yeah.
A freebie.
Yeah, that love video was pretty bad, but
this is way worse.
Gary says the pitch is worse. I would think the love video would be worse.
I said I haven't decided yet.
How did you do? You did interviews after that? Like, how did you just not run out of there?
Because I had an obligation to the Autism Society, et cetera, et cetera.
All right, so here is the interview Gary did.
So can I point something out? So this guy, Kevin Burkhardt, he's like a field reporter, really nice guy. So he's interviewing me, and I know this has been set up in advance, because Howard was asking me the other day, why on earth would you do an interview? But this was set up in advance that it would promote the Autism Society. The important thing to hear on this, because it is funny, is I think it's Keith Hernandez and Howie Rose are in the booth. And when I start talking about it, you can hear them laughing.
Keith Hernandez, who I loved calling a coked up fag when I was in the Keith Hernandez had a coke issue.
Yeah, no, that's documented.
That's documented.
The other part is not documented.
But I added fag. We know that.
You just call everyone a fag.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
They don't have to be
It
gay.
doesn't mean anything.
I'm going to be calling Gary a fag for the next 50
Meanwhile,
years.
how embarrassing, because you know all those greats. I mean, Keith Hernandez is legendary.
Yeah. One of the best first basemen who's ever lived.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys, and like Howie Rose is watching the game.
That's why there's pressure. I mean, right before, I was so, again, I wanted to hate the place, but I became a little kid again.
Yeah.
When I got down on the field before Gary threw the pitch, David Wright, my honorary gayest Met besides Gary, and Carlos Delgado were playing what the players call long toss. They were probably a football field away from each other, and they casually just tossed the ball. And they, it's like a line drive right to the other guy's mitt. You're looking at these amazing athletes, and every fucking 10-year-old kid is in awe. They're looking at two all-stars, and I'm thinking, what's going, like these are men and we're boys almost, and Gary's got to go throw out a pitch in front of these guys. It could not have gone any worse. I mean, it would be like getting the shit kicked out of you in front of Mike Tyson. You know what I mean?
Did the autism kids laugh at you, Gary?
Yeah, they all did.
I said, they all laughed. This is the first hour of the show. I said, I got an easy job on Monday. I woke up kind of happy.
You kidding me? I had a stand-up gig that night, Howard. It was the first half hour of my act. It was perfect.
Ron Darling was calling the game, right? Wasn't he?
He might have been at some point.
And Gary Cohn?
It was Ron Darling, Gary Cohn. Is it Howie Rose? I can't remember if he's still with the...
I don't know if I don't listen to Met games. I don't know.
Okay.
And you know what? When you meet these guys, and you've met some of these guys before, you're just a fan. They're happy to meet you. Right. Now you're going to be that gay guy who threw out that horrible pitch.
Listen, Gary's pitch was so gay.
And Gary likes to be, cool in front of the Mets and all that.
Everyone does, not the Mets.
You shouldn't have done this. I told you not to do it.
I got to tell you, the worst part is
I told you not to do it. I did. I said, get out of it.
Then how come? And when I said last Monday I was going to have Jackson do it, you go, don't do that.
No, I said you should have done that from the beginning.
I said don't do it. I
told you not to be stupid, you moron.
But Gary's pitch was so gay. If he was Scott DePace's son, Scott wouldn't let him in the house anymore.
Right. Okay, so here's Gary interviewed, and this is when he knew it went horribly wrong, because I think Gary was shocked that during the interview about autism, then the guy goes, let's take a look at that pitch.
Shocked. I got to tell you,
speaking of autism.
Because then you know. Because then you know.
It'll never go away.
It's never going away.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people said, oh, you throw out the first pitch, I'll tune into the game. And I go, no, it's not televised.
Speaking of gay autistic children.
Here we go. Yeah, that's it.
If anybody doesn't understand what autism is.
That's the greatest comment since, go ahead, call me Baba Booey. I'll last a day. When you said, oh, yeah, don't even bother tuning in. It's not televised.
Well, it shouldn't have been televised.
Yeah, well, here it is.
Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt.
Guys, Howard Stern fans know exactly who this guy is. It's Gary Dell'Abate, the producer for 25 years.
Robin Quivers.
Stern Show, also Baba Booey. We all know you by that as well. You are also the host here of Autism Awareness Day at Citi Field. How did that come about?
Jim Watkins' wife gave me a call. Jim Watkins from CW11 News at Night. And she said, we could sell a lot of tickets if you would come up to the suite and be the host and throw out the first pitch. So we started talking about the first pitch on the air, and Artie, who works on the show, is a big Yankee fan, was giving me a lot of grief about it. And we talked about how nervous I was throwing it out, and that generated a lot of people buying tickets to come and see me. And in case you're wondering, I blew it.
How did that go? I know there was a lot of stuff going on the other, so much so that you had a certain call from a certain psychologist.
One of our listeners was a sports psychologist, so he called me, and I was on my way home one day, so I talked to him for 40 minutes in the car. Obviously, it didn't help.
Yeah, all that counseling, it didn't really work. It's a great. What do you like best about the cause?
I love that they not only raise money because they need money for education, because it's really a lifelong thing that needs to be dealt with, but they're trying to raise awareness. And I tell anybody, if you just sort of Google autism, if you don't know enough about it, just Google it and find out more about it, because I'm sure somebody, you must know somebody who's affected with it. That's a big thing.
We don't have a monitor in front of us. We're going to show the pitch, Gary. Actually, we do have a monitor up here. See if we can show the pitch. We're in a little bit delay after this pitch from Maine that's fouled back. So we'll see if we can take a look at the beauty of this first pitch. And here we go. What are you thinking right now? Wow.
I was really hoping that would not end up on television. So embarrassed.
Wow.
I mean, they tell you not to bounce it, but they also, I don't know that anybody ever told you not to throw it in the stands either.
Oh, my God.
The distance. The bad news was to hit the umpire.
Guys, thanks for being involved in the great cause, and thanks for not pitching in the Mets bullpen.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Good to see you.
Back to you.
And when you wake up Monday morning, you will be hearing never letting Gary hear the end of that pitch. I mean, he's going to hear about that for the next 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm at the point.
I'm going to pull a Rick Peterson on you, Gary. Forget about the sports psychologist. Come to me. I'll be fixed in 10 minutes.
I'll have you fixed in 10 minutes.
Right to left, right at Tatis.
Who said that?
The lunging grab.
I think it was Hernandez.
Keith Hernandez?
Tatis with it.
I think Ralph Kiner, if they leave it.
Kiner says something?
Kiner starts talking about
for John Maine as we take another look at Baba Booey's.
Oh, they played again.
Watch out, Tony Randazzo. It's coming your way.
That was Ron Darling, not Keith Hernandez.
Now, the good news is
Ron Darling, a great pitcher.
And a nice guy, too. The good news, if there's any little bit of good news, even though they reshowed it again, on my TV, it got cut off early.
I wish Bob Murphy was still the announcer for the Mets, so someone could have said to Bob, Gary really throws like a fag, and Bob would have went, doesn't he, though?
Ralph Kiner started talking, and then he starts, I don't know if you know, but Ralph Kiner
Kiner's corner.
But he had a stroke?
Yeah.
So he talks, really bad, so he starts, I guess he's just looking for any angle. So he starts talking about how when we played with the Pirates, we had a sports psychologist too. They brought him in, and he went over on a whole rap about that.
That's a bad guy to fuck up in front of, because not only Ralph Kiner was one of the best home run hitters ever, I think he also fucked Rita Hayworth.
Yeah, he used to date a lot of stars.
I think, what's really weird,
he
too?
needs the sports psychologist now.
I'm like thinking, who picks sports psychologist as a profession? They've got to be hurting in this economy. I mean, how many people are going to hire a sports psychologist?
You can cut that guy out.
You know what, Howard? I bet every fucking team has a guy that makes more money than he should have on the fucking payroll.
Hey, Howard, you have to re-sign. This can't go away in a year.
I was going to say that it could be gone in a year and a half.
Right. It's not going anywhere.
You have to stay on just because of that pitch.
It's here like AIDS.
Since the pitch, have you had sex with Mary yet? I bet you haven't even had sex.
No, but that's not any.
Do you feel like less?
Anything, like, I mean, if it was a strike, I don't think we were going to have sex.
You can't possibly get enough for a woman after that.
Wow.
Right?
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's right, Ralph. I can't. Ralph is so astute.
Let's go to Mr. Warmth. Hi.
I want to thank Gary as a member of the Stern Fan Network for giving us a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Gary.
Did you have a big weekend of comedy, Mr. Warmth?
Oh, yes. The comedy gods were smiling now.
All right. This guy claims to be Gary's father calling from the grave.
No.
Hi.
Thank God I'm dead.
Sal always going too far.
Yeah. I dumped that out.
I like the guy who interviews him. He's like, yeah, autism. Okay, yeah. Let's look at your shitty pitch.
No, those guys, because those guys are talking heads. They just want to fuck with you.
I have a feeling like most of the people in the stands probably thought Gary was an autistic kid, and he would have gotten away with it. Like they were like, hey, that's a pretty good pitch for an autistic kid.
Let's hear it for Skippy.
Yeah. But then I think once they went on TV and outed him as Gary from the Howard Stern Show.
He's not autistic.
Let's hear it for Belinda Carlisle.
That'd be funny if he'd gone out dressed up in a dress the next time, like if they let him go out again.
Throwing out the first pitch and talking about it later on her Twitter, Paris Hilton.
So, Arnie, I got a question for you.
You doubled over with laughter on the field.
Howard, I mean...
You turned away.
Listen,
you were so embarrassed
It was
for him.
such a great New York moment. New Yorkers are so brutally honest. And like everyone's sitting there. And I was rooting for Gary so fucking much because I love Gary. And I really wanted to see him do good, but there was nothing else to do but just crack up, and everyone just descended on us, me and that Charlie guy. And the word fag was flowing. It was like the 70s.
But you doubled over with laughter where you had to hold on to, I saw a railing.
Yeah. I held on to the back thing.
You almost fell over.
Yeah. I'd been to the gym. I was weak.
Well, Gary, I don't know.
I don't even know if you saw it the first time hit the umpire. You were so funny. Oh, my God.
It really was one of the... Listen, I was at the game where Reggie Jackson hit the 3 homers.
There he goes. Oh, there's Gary doubled over. I mean, there's Artie doubled over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Charlie talking to me. And all those guys, by the way, all those guys in the yellow shirts, they're all security guys, ex-cops who work security there. They all had the same opinion of the pitch, pretty much, Charlie had.
So how do you go on living with this? I mean, what's your plan? I mean,
time goes by,
This too shall pass.
Was your weekend the worst weekend ever?
See, the funny thing was my weekend was the worst weekend for me. I mean, I had to go out yesterday. My kids both had flag football games, and only one person said anything to me. Most people hadn't seen it, or if they did, they didn't say anything to me.
They were too embarrassed.
So I said, when we got up, Mary goes, again, is this going to be the whole day? I said, Mary, we're going to a field of thousands of fathers. I go, that's all they're going to talk about.
All right.
And so the best part was, we're standing there, and she goes, see, nobody's talking about it. And then one of the dads I know who actually runs the Major League Baseball network comes over and he goes, not even hey, he goes, what was that? What was that?
Oh, did Mary hear that?
And I go, see? And she goes, one guy. And it was one guy yesterday. Right. Then my in-laws came over and my father-in-law sort of heard about it. He's like, can we see it? I'm like, no. Oh, yeah. And it's a lot of that.
Right.
And then, I'll tell you what, Saturday night I went to bed and I woke up at 2:00 in the morning sweating and just replaying the pitch in my head all over again and thinking about this morning, even though this is, about what I expected, but, you still think about it.
So you woke up and the first thing you thought about was the pitch. And how...
it was literally in my head, you just replayed over, why did I throw it like that? Why didn't I just do what I was going to do?
Scott Norwood.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
What were you going to do?
Well, again, I practiced a wind-up in a real pitch, throwing really hard, and then I just wasn't confident in that, and then... I just thought I'd throw it as a throw, and I can't explain it.
How do you know what it's like?
Well, let me alone. Let me be, will you? Why me? Why me? Why do they have to be me?
I met him too.
You know what it's like? Do you know who Scott Norwood is? Scott Norwood was the guy in the Super Bowl in 1991 who missed the field goal against the Giants. He had to kick a 47-yarder.
Right.
and it went wide right by a foot, and they lost the Super Bowl. So it ruined Scott Norwood's life for a little while. He was run out of Buffalo, and there was a movie called Buffalo 66 made about it. Right. Vincent Gallo made this amazing movie about it. And, like, there was a fucking auto parts store in New Jersey called Norwood Auto Parts. And everybody said if you get a part from there, your car will veer to the right. Like, I think the fucking place went out of business. Like, it never ended. And the movie Buffalo 66 is all about Vincent Gallo goes to jail because he lost a bet on Scott Norwood. He gets out of jail and wants to kill him. So at the end of the movie, he shoots him in a strip club. Like, this is a mini version of that. I think it's never going to go away. Like, you're so popular, the show's so popular, Baba Booey's a popular thing. 40,000 people. It's all there were 3,000 people at my gig that night. Right. Before I said a word, they were yelling, "Gary's a fag." Everybody knows about it.
Do you wish you hadn't done it now in retrospect?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My instincts were right last week to not want to do it.
Yes, but
why do you? All right, I'm getting psychological now. Do you think on any level you wanted to fail? I mean, this was a moment totally in your control.
Oh, sure.
It was, is there something in you that couldn't accept success that you had to fail?
I think you're at a...
I'm just asking.
No, I think you're into the whole shrink thing, but I think you're reading too much into it. I really wanted to do it. I really wanted it to go well.
Right.
But I can't you kept saying, Gary, was that it's going to be messed up. Every time you thought about it, you threw a messed up pitch.
And that's what would happen.
The only Gary made a face right after the pitch, and this is why, because I like Gary so much. The only time I've seen that face before is when he's trying to make a point, and out of nowhere, Fred plays. Bah, 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 it's just such a look of defeat.
Well, they've got that close-up angle on his face.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Can you roll that side close-up? I know this is turning into the Zapruder film. Let me see his face. I'm going to study it. All right. Here we go. He's intense. He's throwing you see, he didn't pick up his hand high enough over his head or something.
And it releases too early.
And now he knows the pitch has gone bad right here. Ooh.
And then he bends over and throws up.
I know.
Yeah, what is this bending over thing?
No, it's just I just was like,
thank God, David Wright.
Oh, he mooned me. He mooned everyone.
It looked like David Wright missed it. It looked like he was running with his back towards you, so at least that happened.
You kind of ran out on the field, too, kind of spazzy.
By the way, you also look very heavy.
I know.
You got to.
I had the black. Well, I've lost 10 pounds. I got to lose 20 more. So I'm working on it.
Good.
I mean, it's one thing at a time.
Me and Guy were talking after the game, and but the luxury suites there are so great.
Look at that shot. Look at the shot of Gary on the screen. You see how he puts his tongue out?
Yeah.
Well, Jordan. Yeah, Michael Jordan used to do that all the time. Whenever he shot.
You throw like Michael Jordan.
No, he just licks his tongue out like Michael.
Yeah. What were you going to say? He plays baseball like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Were the garage guys heckling you this morning? Because that's what I heard.
No. The guy in the garage is. Yeah. I got to tell you.
Nice pitch, maricon.
You should. I actually think no.
John, you throw like a woman.
John, who runs
hey, why don't you fuck your car in the ass? I fuck your car in the ass. Your car is a gay fag. You're a fag.
What?
John, who runs the garage.
Fuck your gay car.
I'm parking your gay car.
In your gay parking spot.
Hey, I'm parking a car for Fagabooey.
What did the guy do?
No. John, who runs the garage, who doesn't have a Spanish accent. John is I've always thought John should be on the show.
No.
He's one of those guys. He's just like a New York guy who just doesn't give a fuck. He's like every guy. And, I mean, he didn't say anything. He just made a joke about it. But he would, he would never let anybody off the hook for anything.
Of course.
So, that was the first thing. Driving in, I go, I wonder what John has to say. Right. And then he actually didn't say much. He just I think he said something like, I missed the plate, huh?
Yeah.
I said to Gary, dude, your only chance is I'll teach you how to call in sick. Or beg Benji to be late.
Right, here's the final question, because I know we got to take a break. We've got an hour and 17 minutes just on the pitch.
Oh, God, is that all?
I got to tell you, that I looked at the schedule, the saving graces. We have a 7:30 and 8:30 guest, so it would be 3 hours.
Cancel them.
You know what?
Dennis Rodman will be here, and Lisa Lampanelli.
I wondered. I wondered how you were going to set this up today. It's so perfect that your father called you. That was a perfect way for this to start.
But it was unbelievable. But here's the question. Will this go away eventually, or is this one of those things that's just always going to be very, very prevalent on the show?
Always going to be very prevalent on the show.
All right.
Howard, do you realize that everyone from now on who's going to throw out the first pitch, people's advice is going to be, look, whatever you do, don't Delabate that pitch.
So I think that's what I told.
Delabate will become a word.
But that's what I told Mary.
That's a verb.
When Mary and I were arguing about this, and she's like, "Oh, get over it." I go, "You don't understand. I have now become like a benchmark."
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's like, "Whatever. You guys are such guys."
Hammer, go ahead. You have the last word, and then I got to take a break.
No.
Hello,
Howard.
Yeah.
You ever see that show Time Warp where they do slow motion? We got to get a slow motion of Baba Booey's face on Time Warp. You got to get a hold of these guys.
Well, Howard TV, quite frankly, is putting together a whole special with it because they have every angle of Gary's pitch, right. And they have angles you won't see on YouTube. As you can see this morning, they're very, very high quality angles.
Yeah, I mean, you know how you want to know how I first saw the pitch? Yeah. How I first saw it? So I had this obligation to go around to a bunch of things. So they have a Modell suite, which is in right field. There's like a chain link fence.
Right.
And you literally can look at the field. It's really cool. There was a guy there from Las Vegas who just got into town and heard me talking about it. Said, "Oh, I'll buy a ticket and go." And he had like a digital camera, but it shoots video. And he was able to get a good shot of it. And when I saw it that time, I was like, oh, my God, it was so much worse than I even remembered it.
All right, Jeff the Drunk. There's Gary. There's another angle of Gary.
Wow.
There he is.
Got the ball.
Winding up. Hold on, Jeff. We'll get to you in a second.
Who directed this? Milos Forman?
Yeah, Gary throws, goes nowhere, and ooh.
You know what? From that angle, you look like you can throw from that angle. It's worse from straight on.
Right,
but
well,
you know what?
Multiple angles.
You know why Gary did a nice thing, though? Because the parents of autistic children, I never saw an autistic child before.
Yeah.
If anyone has a chance to give money, give it, because it's a serious issue. And these poor parents look so tired. You know what I mean? Like they're always taking care of the kid.
Yeah.
But after Gary's pitch, all the autistic parents were smiling.
See, it was a good thing.
Yeah, like.
You mean with the first joy they'd had in a long time?
I could see them chasing after their kid like they do all the time.
But you know what it reminds
making
me
sure
of?
the kids are right. And they were like, "That was great."
When Babe Ruth went to the hospital for that dying kid, and he said, "I'm going to hit it over," you know. But Gary was doing this for the autistic kids, and I think he let him down.
I do a joke in my act where I say, A-Rod wears number 13 because he wants to be like Babe Ruth.
Right.
He was number 3. Right. And I said, before the playoffs last year, A-Rod went to a hospital and promised a dying kid that he'd ground out to second for him.
He came through.
And then he pointed to second base before he did.
You know, when Babe Ruth pointed, that's where Gary threw.
Jeff the Drunk.
Gary should have pointed to the dugout.
Jeff the Drunk, you have the last word.
Hey, Gary.
Oh, boy.
Yes, Jeff.
I just want to say I'm very, very sorry to hear. But I didn't expect nothing less of you.
Oh.
You throw like I fuck. You throw like my ass looks.
Is that right, Jeff?
Yeah. I was watching it from my house that happens to be a Volkswagen bus. And I was embarrassed for Gary. Well, I was waiting for my shipment of government cheese and weed.
You could throw better with your bad arm, can't you?
I could throw better with no arm. I could have thrown better with my ass.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Ralph. Thank everybody for trying.
I want to thank Gary. That was fantastic.
The best is Ralph's laugh in the background.
Yeah.
That's gonna be.
Well, I keep thinking all Gary cared about was if it reached the plate.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, but nowhere near.
On eight hops.
Reach the plate in the stand.
Do you think less of Gary now?
I don't
As a
have
man?
any, like now when he talks about sports, I'll just think, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, anytime he says something about sports, you just go, go pitch again.
See, that's the problem with this is you lose. Like Chris Rock was one of my favorite comedians. I don't like him as much anymore.
Really? Because you saw the pitch?
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Gary likes.
I don't know. I don't think he's as funny.
He's manly.
Yeah, I never saw Richard Pryor throw, so I still like him, I guess. But with Gary, and I know Gary knows a lot about sports, but, Robin's right. From now on, I don't want to hear him talk about Brett Favre and the Jets. I don't give a shit.
By the way,
it's going to move over to football and hockey now?
It's all sports now. You're not allowed to talk about tiddly fucking wing.
Talk about bowling.
This 40-pound weight loss happened rapidly. I mean, this is pretty impressive.
I told you, Howard, I got off that Subutex shit.
That's what was making you so fat.
I had never gotten close to 300 pounds in my life. So,
yeah.
if you Google Subutex, it has every single possible side effect. You'll get diarrhea. You'll be constipated. You'll die. You'll get a bleeding stomach.
So you don't feel as hungry anymore.
But you're eating better, too, right?
Oh, God, Ralph. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so happy nowadays, like when I get up. And I started jogging, and the weight just fell off me, you know. But and I still got a lot of way to go. But I almost called Ralph yesterday to go see Star Trek. I wanted to be with Ralph and see Star Trek. I was out.
I can't wait to see it again.
Ralph, I'll go with you. I'm dying to see it. I couldn't get my mother or sister to go.
Well, we should see it in IMAX, man.
Yeah, it's on IMAX.
I saw that. It's on IMAX.
Really great.
Would you see it again,
It
Howard?
made $72 million. Yeah, I'd go again.
Yeah,
It's $72 million.
Did it beat...
Wolverine had 87 million.
Wow, that's a juggernaut. I thought Star Trek was going to break records based on
No, as a matter of fact, what they're saying is it's one of the few movies that after its first day, it went up the second day. They seem to think that it's going to build because of the word of mouth.
Yeah, like next week it'll do almost as good.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, everyone. We have to take a break. Gary, thank you.
Gary, listen, man. This is why Gary's a great producer. He said, I said, Gary, they're asking me to go on the field. I won't go if you don't want me to. And Gary said, no, it's good for the show.
All right.
Just come down.
Your reaction is priceless.
And I love you, man, but, you know, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
You got to do what you got to do.
My own fault.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after these words.
Exposure.
Oh, by the way, Lisa G was there covering Gary's first pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And she said I actually have the tape, thanks to Lisa, of Sebastian Bach in front of all the autistic kids talking about his dick. Yeah, so picture the scene. They go out on the field with all the autistic kids. Sebastian Bach is there. And Artie and Gary, Sebastian Bach has his arms around them, and all the kids are surrounding him. Lisa taped Sebastian Bach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you could hear what you were talking about earlier. Oh. Yeah, here you go. Hold on.
Yeah, you know, that makes sense because everything's on mic nowadays. There's cameras all over.
Yeah, Lisa got it. Here, listen.
Hey, Gary, thanks for talking about my car.
You know what?
No, I was at the gas station like a month ago, and you're like, oh, you should have seen Smash Rock, man. His cock, man. And I was like, oh, I was going, this is killer. I was like,
we're doing a photo. Yeah, we're doing a photo real quick.
Let's bring in my step.
People trying to shut him up. We're doing a photo. We're doing a photo.
We're doing a photo.
There was a kid. He shouldn't get the weed part though. But
no, I guess it's. I guess. Hey, Lisa, come on in here. This is Lisa G from Howard 100 News.
Lisa G takes shits at work.
Did you get the weed part? No.
No, but that was. I mean, basically, that was a good example of. I mean, there was a kid a foot from him. You know.
Yeah. But anyway.
I almost emailed you, and I never do.
Yeah.
I thought Gary was going to cry.
You did. You saw it up close.
Right when he ran off the field. You
felt bad for him?
Howard, I felt like Superman. You know how sometimes Superman, I knew I could have gotten Gary to cry.
Really?
And I stood back.
No, here's what Artie said, and I have it on tape. Gary, you want me to teach you how to phone in sick on Monday?
I said to Gary, do a gram of heroin.
Yeah, you just be like,
hello, Gary. Listen, I'm really sick. I'm not kidding. I know. I know you're going to make fun of my cough, but...
I said, Gary, you have to leave a message on your voicemail and fake cough.
Wow.
It was so much fun, though. It was a great afternoon.
Lisa G came with a pair of very tight jeans and sneakers. She looked fucking good. Oh, yeah. All the Puerto Rican players wanted to back.
You could have sex with all the Puerto Rican players.
I have a picture of Artie with Mr. Met. So funny.
Oh, Howard.
The mascot?
The Mets mascot.
Was he walking around in his big bubble head?
And Rusty Staub was there, and John Franco. Rusty Staub got so fat. Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Oh, stop. The man is 65 years old. I mean,
there's no excuse to Lisa G.
He owned a rib joint for years.
Well, he ate all of them.
John Franco's the greatest guy. He's a fan of the show. What a great guy Franco is.
Yeah. So Lisa says you almost cried, Gary.
No, but I did, like, people wanted to talk.
What mic are you on?
I'm on mic 3.
Okay.
Does it sound bad?
It's on. No, it's just I never know which Mac anyone's on. The system is faulty.
It's actually
not. There should be a giant beanie on top of your head.
Always mic 3 when somebody comes here.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
sometimes it isn't. But go ahead.
John Franco was, who I loved before. I already saw it. He was tormenting me.
Really?
He was just like, don't fuck it up.
Well, he's a Brooklyn guy. He was busting chops.
And it was fun, but he busted my chops from the suite all the way, the walk down, all the way down to the field.
Lisa G, by the
Blame
way,
him.
is going to be on Lisa Lampanelli's radio show here on Howard 101 tonight, and they're going to get Lisa a date.
Well, from the Met game, I'm pretty sure she could get Carlos Delgado and Carlos Beltran.
They're already telling me what I should wear, how I should look.
Wow.
I'll get a red dress, wear lipstick.
Can I give you advice,
Oh,
Lisa?
fix yourself up, yeah.
I'm no Ralph. I'm no Ralph, but what you had on the other day at the game was fucking sexy, man. She had a little baseball cap on and the jeans and the sneakers like she was going to play softball or something. Really fucking hot. You should wear that all the time.
If you want Artie.
Yeah.
I think you should wear like a little,
What?
like a little mini skirt, like a, what do you call it? Like almost, you know.
A micro?
Like hot pants?
Micro mini with, really like 4-inch heels and
Stiletto.
you know, no panties. Do the whole thing. Go crazy. Let yourself live.
Rusty Staub is really jaded at this
Air
point.
everything out.
Rusty Staub is really jaded at this point. He played forever, and he's taken a million pictures. He took a picture with me and Lisa, and I said, Rusty, this is my wife, Lisa. And he said, yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Artie was great, you know. There was free food. He didn't overeat. He was relaxed. People were coming up to us saying, "Oh, it's nice to see that the two of you are talking."
Yeah.
Hey, let's bring in Lisa Lampanelli and find out what her plan is for tonight's show.
Can I just say one really big thing?
Yeah.
Okay, announcing the free Howard Stern Channels Week for XM subscribers.
When does that start? If you're a girl, you know.
Howard,
how
I
to
don't
do
even
it.
think it's so
Unless you're like Gary, you don't know how to pitch.
It's the attitude, She's not.
Gary's a boy who doesn't know how to pitch, and you're a girl who doesn't know how to dress.
Yeah, you guys should switch. Get Gary your pussy and take his cock. Take Gary's cock immediately. He doesn't deserve that.
She can get it over the plate.
Absolutely.
No, seriously, I think you're missing out on a bit. All right. Yeah, I think this Gary baseball story is not dying anytime soon. I haven't heard this yet. Fox 5 Morning News. They were all over it today. Let me see.
Finally, did you see this over the weekend? This has to go down as one of the worst first pitches ever in history. Howard Stern's producer, Baba Booey.
Gary Dell'Abate?
Yeah, Gary Dell'Abate.
He's a disgrace.
Did he do that intentionally?
You know, there's some people that think that. He said he practiced all week, though, and he talked to a sports psychologist. But
he needs a psychiatrist.
My favorite part was the umpire trying to catch the ball. It was all for a good cause, though. It was helping raise awareness.
Baba Booey.
For autism. So
Baba
helping raise
Booey.
awareness for autism.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a good cause. I remember I was at New York, one for 3 years.
Yes.
I used to get pranked all the time. This is Bob calling from Baba Booey.
I know.
Baba Booey.
That happened to us a few times on the air, too.
You know, for non-athletes, though, Baba Booey was way, way off there. But it's hard to make the home plate from the mound for non-athletes.
It's not that hard.
Well,
I mean, it just went off that way.
Wow.
It wasn't even straight.
close.
Yeah.
The umpire tried to catch the ball.
Tom Seaver bounced right before home plate, right?
But he's like, Tom Seaver's 65 now.
I understand. Well, what's
Gary's
Baba
like
Booey?
45?
I don't know. I don't know what he is.
I mean, come on.
I know.
Baba
He said
Booey.
he worked
I
on
think
for
it was a
week.
joke.
I hope so.
I know. All right, Duke.
Had to show it after all those pranks I
Yeah,
got.
very funny. I like that.
Wow, I mean, they really spent a lot of time on that. Holy mackerel.
Manny Ramirez just got suspended for 50 games for possibly doing,
steroids,
performance-enhancing drugs. Gary's the front page. How does that happen?
Well, Manny's very happy he threw out that pitch.
Exactly.
By the way, a side story, Howard.
Yeah.
You know who was supposed to be in the suite with us was Darryl Strawberry.
Oh, you're kidding.
He would have enjoyed that.
He just never showed up.
Right.
Which
Well,
makes
that's Darryl Strawberry.
I know, but it makes me sad. I wish he was doing okay. You know,
Yeah.
but I hope he is. You know.
Number 1 and 2 on Google Trends: Gary Dell'Abate first pitch and Baba Booey pitch.
1 and 2.
Yeah. I have a bunch of other stuff to play you, and Lord knows there's a million things about Gary's pitch that could go on and on and on. Dennis Rodman's here, so I guess Dennis was on the finale of the. I like it. I admire that. John,
He looks like a nerd.
John, I wish you'd start wearing a tie. John, were you at the Met game when Gary threw the pitch? What went through your mind? We haven't heard from you at all.
Well, I was sitting on the third base side, so when he threw it, it didn't look that bad because he reached the plate, but then I saw the umpire move, and then you knew it was kind of bad. I really felt bad for Gary.
Oh, fuck you. John is the real culprit. I have a theory. First of all, they don't make pirate ties. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Secondly, You know, John has become a master. He was a real nice guy when he met us.
Yeah.
He's become a master at the Stern universe. On that wrap-up show, he lets people dig their own grave.
Right.
Like, he'll say to JD, like, say that again, or, you know, all that shit. So he's evil now. And I guarantee he played catch with Gary and knew it would suck
Did you
and said,
know-
just fucking go do it.
Yeah, Artie's point is a good one. I mean, you must have known on some level. You saw him throw. He can't throw.
We were supposed to have a catch last week, and it never happened. So I've never seen him throw overhand before.
I
But
see.
honestly, if I had a catch with him, I would give him recommendations on what to, but I would still tell him to throw the pitch.
You know how evil he
What
is
did
now?
he do wrong? What did he do wrong?
He doesn't, like, in that clip, if you watch, he doesn't pull his arm. Like, when you throw, you gotta sort of pull your arm back.
Right. And then you see how your hand went over your head?
He
Do that again. You actually look good doing that.
Yeah, he's a good athlete.
I mean, but what he did
That's a throw.
Yeah, he's a good athlete, John.
he went like this.
Yeah, there was no.
And pushed it.
And if you
So
push
he
the ball,
doesn't know
that's
how to
what
throw.
happens.
I mean, if you know how to throw, you throw.
Well,
he threw like one of the Supremes.
Yeah.
But Gary's, you know, he said he's thrown 99 times, and 98 of them he throws
But
strikes.
I
so-
guarantee 2 of them were strikes.
There it is
I mean,
again, in case you forget. There it is. Whoops.
Yeah, it's right at
see,
his
kinda-
ear. Yeah.
Look at the poor catcher. It hit somebody. I think it hit a cameraman.
Can you throw that? Can you just replay that again? Because Gary's, I think it does hit the camera.
It hit somebody, I think.
Look, you see the cameraman to the right of the umpire?
Right.
What? He's behind the umpire. Actually, he's to the left of him now.
Oh, no,
He hit
the umpire.
Almost on it.
the umpire had to try and catch it.
It looks like the umpire got hit.
What's the name of the Met catcher, John? Is that Sosa?
It was probably Castro.
Castro, right? That he looked just so annoyed, the catcher.
Yeah.
Because he's got to fucking deal with this all the time. But you know how evil John Hines become?
How evil?
When I was in the throes of heroin abuse,
Yeah, what did he do?
I did the wrap-up show. And they played Shooting Star by Bad Company. And it's about a guy who gets into show business and dies.
Right.
So I was singing it, and I'm singing the last verse. And John goes, hey, why don't you put your name in the verse? And I'm like, okay, like a jackass. So now that's on tape. Like, if I ever die, I'm on tape
We're gonna
going.
play that.
I'm on tape going, Artie died one night, died in his bed.
He sung it well.
Bottle of whiskey, sleeping tablets by his head.
Hey, John, you played softball with Gary, so you must have seen Gary throw.
No, because Gary pitched.
Oh,
so
he
it was
played
all underhand.
Okay.
He did what the girl would do.
All right, Johnny, anything else on that wrap-up show?
Well, we're talking about Howard, Gary threw out the first pitch at the Mets game on Saturday, and you knew Gary didn't throw a strike when your dad called that night to tell you about the pitch.
Right.
We'll see how Gary's holding up after this morning's ball busting. We'll talk about the glee Artie took in describing Gary's toss. If Howard, Robin, or anybody else here thinks they can throw better than Gary.
Robin can, I guarantee it.
I said I throw like that.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
You've got an excuse. You're a girl.
You don't throw like that, Robin. You throw better than that.
Why the owner of the Mets felt obligated to give Gary a call. If this toss hurts Gary's sports credibility.
Yeah, it does.
And does Gary really wish that he didn't throw out the first pitch for the team that he grew up rooting for?
Yeah, it's embarrassing. All right, thank you, Johnny, for that. Oh, you got more stuff. Go ahead.
Sure. Lisa Lampanelli came in and enjoy herself on a date with the winner of her dating game.
Hey, Kyle, you're on the air. Kyle has a list of people who threw a better first pitch than Gary. I'm interested in that. Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah, Howard, I was just on YouTube looking up a couple names here, and just to go down the list, last year's American Idol winner David Cook threw a better pitch than Gary. Some chick named Luscious Liz, I don't know who that is.
She actually threw it to the catcher.
It took a one bounce, but it was straight down the line, and it bounced off the plate there, Howard, so it was better.
That's better. At least she made it to the plate, yeah.
Let's see, professional golfer Annika Sorenstam, she's on the LPGA.
Right.
Misty May Trainer, professional sand volleyball player.
She actually threw it to the catcher.
Yeah.
It's all chicks.
What about Stephen Hawking?
I found a way to rank them, too. A couple weeks ago, they had the top 6 from American Idol throw.
Right.
And Gary ranked somewhere in between the redheaded chick and the fag. So.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, seriously, is he among the real worst throwers of all time? I mean, people say that Chris Rock's was worse, but
I didn't see Chris Rock's, but YouTube is just filled with them. But the one that I saw the most, I just typed in first pitches, and there's about 5 of Gary's on the first page.
Did you check Chris Rock / first pitch or something? I can't believe that's not anywhere.
I looked for Chris Rock and Ryan Seacrest for comparison's sake, but I couldn't find any of them because Gary was making fun of Ryan Seacrest a couple weeks ago. But I mean, I think it's got to be worse, right?
Yeah. From what the New York Daily News says, it's the worst.
They know. Seacrest is worse than mine. Listen, I put them in this order. You ready?
Seacrest was not worse than yours.
I tell you, it was. This was the order. Chris Rock, the mayor of Cincinnati, Seacrest, me. That's
No. How come the Daily News says yours is the worst?
What do they know?
Every newscaster said yours was the worst.
Here's the order, Gar. 9/11, you, the Hindenburg.
Ross Zapin's there. Ross, how bad was his pitch, and when did you learn about it?
I was getting the play-by-play by Blacksberry. From who? Avalon.
He saw it?
Yeah, he was at the game. I didn't quite. Yeah, I saw it.
What did Abelo write to you? What were the first words you read?
Uh-oh. He gave him a C-, so I thought it wasn't that bad. And then I spoke to Gary later in the day, and I realized it was bad.
Wow, Ross has a BlackBerry.
Shocking.
Oh, he's on that every minute.
He's allowed to carry one, Artie.
He's allowed to have a phone.
Wow.
He can keep his own phone. Back.
Fuck you, fag.
There's a fact that somebody just gave me. A 12-year-old Little League girl threw out a better first pitch than Gary.
But she threw a perfect game.
Yeah.
Why don't you throw your BlackBerry somewhere? It won't get hurt.
You want to come and throw it at you now, see if I hit you?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll catch it with my eyes closed.
Then you might use it and score some drugs.
Yeah, throw it at me. You'll hit Fred.
What if he aims at Fred?
If he aims
then
at
Benji's dead.
If he aims at Fred, your bathroom's in trouble.
It always goes off to the right.
I mean, Artie, you wouldn't be scared to stand somewhere and have Gary throw a
Gary, come in
BlackBerry
here.
at you.
I will stand anywhere in the studio, and you throw a ball at me or anything you want, and I swear to you, it won't hit me.
That's a challenge.
Or I'll catch it like, it's a chick playing badminton or something.
This is the worst thing that could happen.
Don't worry, Artie's day will come.
Oh, does that mean I'm going to die?
No, it just means that you're the ringleader, and, it all comes around, brother.
Oh, yeah, all right. Well, listen, if I get to throw out the first pitch at the Yankee game, maybe I'll look like Liberace as well. Why didn't you suck David Wright's cock? It would have been less gay.
Oh, man.
You should have blown Mackie Sasser. If Carlos Delgado ass fucked you, it would have been fucking manlier.
Gary turned up the radio. He isn't even listening. Are you listening to this, Gary? What does Ross think of
I
this?
said the worst thing
Ross, what do you think of this?
Artie, take it easy.
This is going to kill Artie.
Be good at...
at least he hit the plate. At least he got it that far.
What plate? The umpire had a plate in his head?
It was third play. It was third base.
Did you watch the tape, Ross?
Yes, I did.
Ross, you're being too good of a friend now. Come on. I mean, I love Gary, too,
What's
but...
wrong with being a friend?
Gary, come on. I'm doing my job.
Unfortunately for me, Artie, I threw this pitch 2 weeks after Artie came out of his drug-induced haze. It's better when he fucking slept through my shit.
I would have been calling you a fag in my sleep.
You're saying if you had overdosed on heroin, you still would have made fun of him.
If I was on heroin at the game, I could have totally slept like a fucking chick.
I know that, but you would have slept through half the show, and you couldn't make fun of me nearly as much.
Gary, I'm
so
sorry.
let me recap. You think...
No, you're not.
You think if
I'm
he...
not fucking sorry at all.
You're right.
I'm fucking thrilled.
You think if a guy fucked Gary in the ass on the mound, it would have been less gay than the pitch he threw?
An Hispanic guy.
Oh, man.
If Reyes should have banged you with his fucking colored hair.
One of those big rainbow wigs.
In all defense, yes, there have been terrible first pitches. But history has shown that there have been major league pitchers that have this problem.
What? There's been a lot of gay pitchers, I'm sure.
Wild pitchers.
There's been a lot of gay pitchers.
Me and Rick Ankiel.
All right, okay, listen.
Hey, by the way, this is no bullshit. The Kardashians threw out the first pitch, I think, recently.
The chicks?
Yeah, the chicks.
From rubber?
Yeah, and I heard it's a million times better. Joey from Howard TV told me this, and I heard it's a million times better than Gary's pitch. And in a related story, people mistook Kim Kardashian for Sid Fernandez.
Yeah.
But we got to get the Kardashians pitch.
Yeah, we got to see tape of everybody's pitch.
Yeah.
Compare and see who's just the worst.
Well, I think what we're hearing that is most of them aren't on tape.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Some of them are. I've been on the internet. I saw a lot of them.
If you have a television, you can see Gary.
Scotty Farrell says he wants to defend Gary.
Oh, yeah?
Scotty.
Hey, now listen, this is hilarious. I don't want to ruin Artie's role, but I have thrown out 2 first pitches in my illustrious career. I threw one out at a Twins game in the Homer Dome in Minneapolis, and I threw one out at a Marlins game in South Florida. And I will say this, it is the most unnerving. I have never been so nervous in my life. Like, I've done everything, Howard. I've done
Farrell.
I've done every TV show in the world. I've called hockey games. I've been at Olympics. I've never been nervous.
Yeah, but Farrell, did you throw the ball like a girl?
When I threw out a first pitch, I got to tell you, when I got on the mound, my hand was soaking wet.
But Scott, listen to me. Did you end up throwing the ball like a girl?
I threw strikes both times. Humiliate you. What they do is in the Marlins game, they made me throw the pitch to Billy the Marlin, which is this 500-pound gargantuan, like, I don't know, what do they call them, mascots. And I had this gigantic mascot sitting behind the plate with his balls in my face. And then when I did the Twins one, I went out on, Artie would have liked this, I went out on the mound, I bared down on the catcher, it was Joe Mauer, and I sat there and stared. There's 20,000 fans. I leaned over. I went into my relief pitch tuck. I stopped on the mound, and then I stepped off the rubber, and 20,000 people booed me and started throwing beers at me.
Well, meanwhile, you came through, so you must have a better sports psychologist than Gary has.
I'm not as much of a pussy as Gary, but I threw strikes. But I got to tell you,
this is Gary's defender.
Yeah, I like that. Scotty called in to defend Gary.
I've never been so nervous in my life. My hand was soaking wet. I was shaking. It's really hard to do.
Thank you, Scotty. And by the way, listen to Scotty Farrell tonight on Howard 101. He's on every night. Does a great job, great show. He's on at 8 o'clock on Howard 101. Thanks, Scotty. Where is he?
I think he got off.
Oh, he got off.
And in defense of Gary, a man can't be expected to throw out a pitch as well as Khloe Kardashian.
All right, what else you got?
Dennis Rodman, his 5 championship.
What else?
I have 7 and 8. You know how women are.
Dennis was great today.
Of course, I live in Miami. They're 3,000 miles away. But
what else you got?
Plus, there really is no plus today. It's all about Gary's pitch.
All right. We'll see you then at 11 o'clock as close as we can get to it. Now it's time for the main event. Robin Quivers with her news.
I'm just glad that Jerry Seinfeld and his kids went to the Mets game yesterday, and they didn't see that debacle.
Really? I'm sort of disappointed. I would like to hear Jerry's take on it.
That really was for Gary like an episode of Seinfeld. Gary was so fixated on that pitch, and then,
he became George.
It's as if George had to throw a first pitch out. And they had a whole storyline where George worked for the Yankees for a while.
Right, I know. But really, he just stressed and then fucked up.
Right.
And now I still live with the consequences.
Again, I'm sure there was a time where Gary could throw like a man. But
like a man.
He's had a life in radio. He's had a career. Like he's been away from it for a while.
I think once you know how to throw, you know how to throw.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
I agree.
I agree, too. How could you forget?
By the way, Gary is super pissed at Artie.
I know. I could tell in that last interchange that now he's really angry. He's just angry at Artie.
I don't know. What do you want me to do? I mean,
it is funny. Come on. Gary, are you really that angry?
Yeah, a little bit.
What's going on?
Listen,
I'd be bad too.
But this is my doing. So let Artie be Artie, and and this is my fault. You know what I mean?
Wait till the wrap-up show. I'm coming in there.
Oh, Jesus!
I think that he's way more vicious on the wrap-up show.
And then
I think Artie's taking a minor degree of joy. I think he's taking
a minor degree. You're some judge of.
Gary, this is the happiest day of my life.
Remember the day you got off drugs?
I'm kidding. But no, listen, you're countering with an awful tragic thing that almost killed me, and I'm busting your balls about you throwing like a fruit. I mean, come on, dude.
But so let me ask you a question. For all that you're breaking my balls about, if you were to fall off the wagon and I joked about that, would that be out of line?
But Gary, you don't see how that. But don't you see how that's a more serious issue to joke about with a friend?
Gary, you threw like a girl. That's all.
Control.
Gary, you're comparing his almost being dead from drugs to you throwing like a girl?
I'm asking the question.
Yeah, I would be mad at you, sure. Absolutely. But if I threw like a chick at a baseball game and you made fun of me, then I'd fucking kill you.
Oh.
Well, Gary, you, I guess you knew you'd eat a little crow.
No, I thought I'd eat a lot.
No.
You ate Sheryl Crow.
Hey, can I just say, let me know if we're off topic. I got to say one other thing.
We're never going to be off topic.
We can come back to it.
Dennis Rodman's people called. Remember you said, do you want to plug anything?
Yeah.
Well, he wants to plug something now.
Oh.
Just check out Dennis Rodman at DennisRodman.com.
Oh, okay.
I kept saying to him, don't you want to plug something?
He doesn't know.
No one gave him that information before he
And no one gave me a plug to give him.
Howard, we asked his assistant, we asked AJ when he got here, we asked Dennis, we asked everyone in advance, and then nobody said anything, and then all of a sudden they called and said, oh, we forgot to plug.
All right, DennisRodman.com. Check it out. I'm sure Dennis got a lot of interesting things on there.
Just to get back on topic, on DennisRodman.com, there's video of Gary throwing like a fag.
Oh. You know what? Every website should have it.
All right, let's get to Robin's.
Every website does.
Is it all over the place, Gary?
Oh, like you can't believe.
All you got to do is Google fruit/Italian.
That's just nothing but like if I read you my last 20 emails this morning. Okay. Gary, why didn't you wind up? That's from one guy, right? The next guy is Gary, we still love you. This is a guy that works at Major League Baseball. Hey, Steve Sachs and Chuck Knobloch didn't do much better in a Yankee game. But I'm saying every single email I got, like one guy wants to know if my kids moved to Portugal yet.
Scott, what did you think of it? Scott, the engineer. You're a sad sack. You're used to a lot of disappointment.
And you're a big Mets fan.
And you're used to disappointment in your life. I mean, is Gary now in your league with things going wrong?
Looks like the cloud moved a little like that.
And his office is right across from yours.
Don't put on the suntan lotion yet, Baldy.
I thought the throw was so bad, I thought Scott the engineer was in the game.
I was supposed to be there, but I couldn't go. But luckily,
Why? Wife wouldn't let you out of the house?
No, I had things I had to take care of. But
that means his wife wouldn't let him leave.
He had yours.
No. She said I can go, but I did have to do some things.
Let me ask you something, Arnie, and I want you to answer this honestly.
You got it.
All right, choose one.
All right.
Never having used heroin, so you wouldn't know how great it is, and you wouldn't have your addiction problems.
Right.
Or throwing like that. Choose one.
Oh.
You never.
What one I did and one I
choose between them.
I would rather the
have
heroin.
done heroin and now struggle with it.
Yeah.
Than throw a pitch like
than
that.
have me on videotape throwing like that. Absolutely.
Seriously, I'm asking you to.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You know what, Garrett? Well, listen. Well, now you're arguing my point. Heroin all of a sudden is a more serious subject, isn't it?
Because you've said to me in the past, Artie, if I could go back in time and never have tried heroin, it would be so much easier.
And
in
I
my
would
life.
still. That's a close second.
Right. And you're saying, so if I could grant you that wish, but that would mean.
I'll tell you why.
You would have to have on tape for the rest of your life, you throwing a pitch like that. You would rather just go through heroin.
And I have a real explanation for you.
Go ahead.
Dead honest explanation for you. If there's a heaven, and I don't think there is.
Right.
Or if there's a hell, and I see my father again. I could explain the heroin.
But you can never explain that pitch.
But throwing like that on tape.
You could sit down with your dad in an imaginary conversation and say, Dad, look, things got a little...
You died on us, man.
I missed you.
I was in pain.
I was in pain. And he would say, okay, I understand.
Right, I got better, but I'm dead now.
But there's nothing you could say to him
to explain
that pitch.
He would look at me, he would feel like more of a failure as a father.
Than even with heroin?
Yeah.
Wow.
Am I supposed to respond?
I'm waiting. You believe him, Gary?
Listen, if that's how he thinks, then his priorities are way out of fucking whack.
Oh, there's a bulletin.
Scott, let me ask you something. If I told you could have a full head of hair, but there had to be a tape of you throwing a pitch like that at a Mets game.
Yeah. Make a decision? I'd rather be bald.
You would?
I mean, I walk around like this every day. It doesn't matter.
It's not that bad. Okay.
No, it's not that bad. So I'd rather.
And that's a guy who wore a toupee.
Howard, if you told me I could be Brad Pitt and fuck every chick on the planet.
But you had to throw like
I had to throw like that, I would without question pick being Brad Pitt.
You would.
Yeah, that I understand.
Yeah, all right.
Fuck every chick on the planet. I don't give a fuck if I feel like a fag or not. I'm fucking every hot chick.
By the way, Howard, while you were talking, I just turned down Good Day New York.
Really? They wanted to talk to you about it.
You need to go on.
Go on and redeem yourself. Maybe we can even bring in a pitching coach.
Yes. You got to do it.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
I'm retired.
Gary, go on Good Day New York tomorrow and show them how you pitch.
I'm not doing it anymore.
Go on The View.
Let me go on with you.
Just do it.
I'll teach you how to throw on Good Day New York.
Let's hang out, Artie.
Just do it. Come on. I'll teach you how to throw.
The View just called. They want you to go on and be a new co-host.
The View just called. Barbara Walters says you're a fag.
Come on, Gary. You got to do Good Day New
Gary,
York.
do it tomorrow. Come on. We'll all tune in. It'll be great.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Just do it. Scott Greenstein wants you to do it.
Scott just called. He went, you got to do it. You got to promotion. Mention serious. Mention serious.
When you got to go to New York, Father's Day's coming up.
Fred, I'm sorry, I wasn't even listening to you guys. Fred just sent me a first pitch of a guy who looks exactly like High Pitch Eric, and the only way he could pitch is they had to take him out of his wheelchair, and they put him on his back, and he rolls and throws the ball at the same time, and he got it to the catcher.
Oh, my goodness.
He throws a strike.
Oh, my God.
He threw a strike. It's sad.
Not from the mound.
Gary, I'm sending Gary right now.
Dirt.
Gary, I'm sending you an email. It's a JPEG of a thalidomide baby throwing a strike at an Oriole game.
An actual thalidomide baby.
This guy is practically that. When you see it, you'll be awestruck.
Let me ask you something. Do you think your father,
yeah,
if you could say to him right now, Dad, your accident never occurred, you never would have fallen off a roof.
Right.
But in order for that to happen, there has to be tape of Artie throwing a pitch like Gary's. What would your father say? I think he'd rather just have the accident.
I think he would say, wow. Yeah, he'd rather be a quadriplegic.
Yeah. There you go.
I just know my own man.
Come on.
But Robin, I had to think about it. Because my father, as a quadriplegic, would have thrown it better.
Your father could have gotten it over the plate.
Before the accident, oh my God.
And it's a bad analogy. You know, Ross brought up that there have been pitchers who've thrown a wild pitch.
He's trying to be a good friend.
But they didn't look like girls while they were doing it.
Chris, go ahead.
No,
they still look like men.
They look like drunk men.
Hi, Chris, you're on the air.
Hey, guys. Hey, Chris Waldron. I grew up outside of Philadelphia. But anyway, I live in Northern California right now, Sonoma County.
Hey, great, Chris. Tell us more about yourself.
Chris, you're not giving us enough information. If you don't mind, tell us where you were first born, the address of your home, and then move through college, and evenally when you worked, got married and kids.
Dude, this isn't the loser biography channel.
Oh, that's funny. Thank you. That's perfect. Now, honestly, I just got up and I fired up your show and heard about Baba Booey's pitch, and it just killed me. Pissing my pants. I went right to YouTube. I saw it, and it's the funniest damn thing in the world.
I'll tell you, when I was in junior high.
On Howard TV, I believe by tomorrow we will have multiple angles.
Yes.
I'm sure. Oh, fantastic.
Very good.
Yeah, that's cool. That's totally cool, guys. And, dude, you fucked up, Baba Booey.
All right. He knows. Right. Thank you. All right.
He's aware.
He knows. In fact,
he was aware as soon as it left his arm.
Right.
Artie would rather do heroin than have that tape.